Hi YouTube, it's me, Kareem Zamir, Seekers of Galanti, second week, episode 21. I think I got it in one. For those of you who are watching along, still live with us here on Twitch, as always, the YouTube clap is simply there so that me, hi, Mr. Editor, also Mr. DM, also Mr. Storyteller, also Mr. Writer, also Mr. Okay, anyway, moving on, knows where to cut the film so that I can just do really hard cuts that then do a break fade into whatever the actual episode is, and we miss all that opening, like, chunky 10 to 20 minutes of intro where we pretty much just shill trying to have people be our friends for like upwards of 10 to 15 minutes because it's a community first and it's like a business never, hopefully. That's the thing. I'm one of the weirdos that's like, why are you on Twitch? Because it's fun. Oh, but money. I'm like, if I could shut off monetization, I probably would. It's at this point, it's a hole in the floor that I tell the IRS the money goes into, and it kind of does. I get to claim all our art, which is kind of awesome. Maybe this is worth it. Anyway, when we last left our heroes, which is how Matt Colville will tell you D&D has started, the Seekers of Galanti, our brave and noble heroes, spoke and finally tracked down the leader of the Cross Scimitars, an mercenary-esque group that definitely is in it for the money, honey. After navigating and circumnavigating many of the northern Hollowwoods, they came across the large river crossing that meets up with the Ravon Range. After descending down into a bit of a bellow, the group came across the encampment of the Cross Scimitars, their base of power and mobile influence of their somewhat standing mercenary force. I won't really call them an army. What's like, I don't know, like 6 people with crossbows. Is that a retinue? I don't know.
I'd call it bad news.
Militia?
Militia? Yeah, it could be militiasent. Yeah, that'll work. So yes, with that, the group had encountered, do we have the art? Boom, we did! Hey, look at that. A purple-skinned tiefling woman, simply named Pripel. Pripel, of course, being the mercenary leader of the Cross Scimitars themselves. I think I also have our cross image up. That way we just bring it right back in from last episode. The group initiated in a number of wheeling and dealing agreements, such as getting her to step inside of a zone of truth, because of course she would lie to you. Why wouldn't she lie to you? And also an exchange of currency for information. Pripel being well advised both by her own insight and wisdom, but also from that of the various hungry mouths and military individuals that she does employ, that ain't nothing in life for free. And with that, the group was able to buy a number of answers that they had questions of from a fairly reliable source, I would say. Overall, I would say fairly reliable. Just depends. But, Seekers of Galanti, your questions primarily have been answered. Pripel has informed you, of course, that she is currently pending a lunch obligation with another individual. Has answered most of your questions, if not all of them, that have answered all of them that have been paid for, I should say. I'm sure you have more questions. But yes, you stand there in the encampment of the Cross Scimitars, money having been exchanged as well as words. And it falls to you. What comes next? Tell us here. Tell us it true. Pripel looks to you all and simply raises a small back of her hand and exclaims, "Well then, this has been truly an enlightening, entertaining afternoon, Seekers of Galanti. If that is all you have of the scimitars, I ask that you very much retire us to our various needs for the afternoon."
I
think, oh, yeah, I think I'm good. Does anyone else have any particular questions at this time? Pripel, would you like for us to go ahead and get off y'all's turf, or do you mind if we maybe set up camp somewhere outskirts for a moment just to talk and whatnot?
Well, while I cannot allow you to stay within the confines of the Cross Scimitar camp, I of course have no claim to the surrounding lands. It is difficult to hold ownership over dirt. With that being said, I cannot promise your safety, but I can assure you that, at the very least, for your investment today, I will instruct my men and women to not attempt to claim on a bounty that is very tantalizing.
We appreciate it.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. As you say, what are friends for, eh? Very good then. If you will excuse me, I will await my tent for a number of arrangements that must be discussed.
Ma'am, thank you. If you need us, I'm sure you can find us.
Oh, I'm sure I will look for you, of course. Well then, Seekers of Galanti, you are about what I expected. Little bit more put together than I would have assumed, all things considered. Be well. And she, with that, turns and leaves. You look around, and many of the mercenaries that make up the cross scimitars, many of them holding these very militaristic-looking double crossbows, all kind of look at each other. There seems to be, of those of you who have a higher passive insight, there's a hair of trepidation in the air between what Preeple has spoken of and the very much public knowledge that there is money to be had from killing you and taking you in. And slowly but surely, each and every one of them kind of lowers their weapons, looks you all over, and slowly returns about their day in business.
Well, where would you guys like to head now?
I guess we just go back the way we came. Not sure that they set those traps back up yet.
Sure thing. We could also watch out for him too. Right.
Going back to where our larger subterranean friend is, likely be a fairly secure location to kind of put ourselves back together and figure out what we want to do next.
I think you're right.
Alright, well, I guess I'll lead the way.
Right. So you're trekking back the several hours through the woods to go back to Barry's area.
Spiderland.
Spiderland! Very good. Mr. Jones, can you give me a survival check at advantage?
21.
21. With the 21, you manage to very much recall your steps. You follow your tracks, being that you all passed with a trace. It's actually easier for you as well to kind of recant where you need to effectively end up. As you do trudge through the longer stretches of the woods themselves, you don't have to worry as much for traps or incoming things. You know where many of them are, and there's less of a fear of ambush from these more or less intelligent individuals. You do know as well the land being hunted dry and barren by the scimitars, and they're kind of somewhat scheme to make the area less habitable for just a general exporting type of civilization instead of an importing civilization. There doesn't seem to be even many creatures that would come across you. However, I will say with a 21, you do note very peculiar looking tracks. They are large in make and heavily set into the clay-caked dirt of the road.
Alright guys, I think I have the skill for this. As of last week.
And
I will further investigate these tracks with my knowledge nature.
For anyone not playing at home, for years I have played without knowledge nature in this group, and Wizards of the Coast decided we're going to rebuild kobolds and give them an extra skill, because why not? Thanks, WizKids. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead and roll nature if you'd be so kind. Your DC is 14. Why am I telling you the
19 on
DC?
the die.
Because it's funny.
19 on the die, and that is a 23.
Okay, so you've written the book on these creatures at this point. Scholarly, on top of your
Yep,
doctorate.
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday when I got knowledge.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, yesterday when you ascended to demigodhood.
Wrote a whole book in a day. Wow.
Yeah. You look over these tracks. There are a number of telltale signs of a Ursa origin. Specifically, the prints themselves do need kind of a bear-ish lean. However, looking and seeing the way the bark has been moved and brushed up against, you note the presence of quills as well as feathers that are still stuck between bits and pieces of the trees. You would innately know that these tracks were most likely left by a tribe of owlbears. However, with a above 20 check, you do note that there is something wrong with these owlbears. The quills and spines that have left scratches across the trees would denote a faint corruption among their bloodline or being. Most likely, in your professional opinion, as both a doctor and nature watcher, likely something that has made their bloodline turn a bit dire, as professionals might call them.
All right, so Kobold gets down on his knees as he sees the tracks and starts to sniff them, and then gets real close. Goes over, grabs one of the quills, sniffs it, breaks it in half, bites it. Oh yeah, we got some dire owlbears out here.
I will ask you to make a con save for biting one of their dire quills.
Do not take my bonus for that. That was gross.
The paladin rescinds her aura.
I don't need your damn bonus. I got a 24.
25.
So I eat the whole last thing.
I eat it. I pick my teeth with it. So when you do bite on this quill, this is why we make the check. I hate it.
Walrus tusks.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah. With the 20 plus, you're fine. You do, however, feel a numbing agent in these quills, specifically a paralytic. Had you not been strong enough of constitution, whatever these bears might be tracking in their fur and quills seems to be either some type of natural deterrent for predators or otherwise an evolutionary step that has made them less of an object of desire for hunters and more carnivorian predators.
Holy shit. I think I just invented dentistry. Alright guys, I think that we need to not mess with these things. I think I was like 2 seconds away from having a full seizure.
I'm gonna say this, but I feel like it should be obvious. Maybe you shouldn't put things from the ground in your mouth.
I think that's
What are you
a good
talking
idea.
about? You're not into ground scoring?
Damn it.
I knew that I wasn't really going to get anywhere with saying that, but I felt the need to still say it.
Alright, I mean, I'm glad you said it. I hope it made you feel better. So
Now-
let's avoid the direction that these guys are going in, because that doesn't sound like a very fun time. Is that going in the direction that we were going, or are they just going
No,
off?
you just noticed on the path.
Cool.
Yeah, your survival was that good, specifically.
Alright, well, then we will attempt to do what we can to avoid whatever that is, because that sounds really scary.
Celeste looks like
I
she's in
don't
pain.
know. I feel like we should go after them.
I'm gonna poke Celeste with a quill.
Okay. Celeste, can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
I guess you could probably use your bonus.
You wouldn't know it by watching anyone out there in TV land, but they are desperately in love in real life. I swear, I've seen it.
Desperate's a word.
It's like, oh shit. Ugh. What do we get, Celeste?
The 14.
Oof. Do you want me to show you in the book where it says not a 14? So, Kobold Jones, you poke Celeste through the armor with one of these owlbear dire owlbear quills. Celeste, at first you feel like you feel like a very sharp pain, and there's a numbness, and your arm goes slack. And then you kind of feel your legs give out, and you swear you should feel your head hitting the ground, but you don't because your whole body goes numb and limp. Cole
I'll
Jones,
catch her when she falls.
Oh, okay. You catch her just before she cracks her head on the ground. She is very aware. Eyes are open.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That was supposed to be a disadvantage, so it's a nat 1.
Oh, even better.
Sorry. Just wanted to be fair.
So in the history of describing things, there's an often talked about term, which is I must scream and yet I have no mouth. And I feel that that's applicable for this right
Hang
now.
on. Are you sure? Because you have 1 exhaustion, right? Isn't that just skill checks? Or is it
Correct.
saving throws?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was really bad. That's all that matters, right?
I love
Point is that you still did it, right?
I love the interplay of rule of cool versus rule of law, and it's great in that household. It's full chaos. Yes, you have a paralyzed Celeste in your arms, Cobalt Jones. Her eyes are open. She can see everything you're doing. She's still consciously aware of all of your actions, but her body has been paralyzed in a way of which she has no control or motor function at this point.
I will throw her up fireman style on my back.
Okay.
And I'll go. So you still want to go check out the owl bears? And then I'll grab her chin and I'll move it. I'll be like, no, I don't want to go with them. They're so scary. Oh.
JJ, while he's doing that, is just gonna put a hand on her shoulder and cast Lesser Restoration real quick.
Slowly, the effect fades of paralyzation. Celeste, you can bring yourself to senses. Everything is kind of like we're all hitting 30 at this point. We're getting close to it. If you sleep on your arms wrong and they're just numb for like the whole day for some reason, because what is good blood flow? It's kind of like that all over. Your whole body has this like weird tingling, numb sensation. Like you Vicks Vapor Rub just a little too much, you know? Also not sponsored. I should just say Vapor Rub. I shouldn't say Vicks Vapor Rub because that's a brand. Also not sponsored.
Maybe we shouldn't jab our friends with paralytic spines. But I do agree that let's just watch out for these owl bears. Let's maybe not just hop in and engage, maybe. Unless y'all want to. But yeah.
Here's what I mean, that little tiny feather did that to me. I think we should look for more of these little feathers and start collecting them. That's what I think.
I mean, I could just break this thing in half again, and then we'd have like 4. Anyway, I like to teach through doing, not telling. And then I'm going to put the quills in like an armor pocket or something like that so it can't touch my skin. And start walking back in the direction I know I'm supposed to go.
All right. You tuck it in, missing all of your scaling, of course, and making sure you don't potentially stab yourself right in the cloaca. Lizard people, how do they work? So you all make your way back north from the other side of the river. You follow along the old trail of the woodlands, and you start to again return to a place of somewhat normalcy. I can't really say that. There's a lot of spiders in this area, of course. Oh man, my picture didn't retain size. Well, that's rude. So you enter into, once again, a very much moss-covered and ruined wood. Before too long, roughly about an hour or so, now that you're moving at normal pace instead of looking for traps and sneaking along, you do manage to begin to arrive back into the area. Upon doing so, with the heat and humidity of the area, I do need everyone to make me a either survival or Constitution saving throw. Your choice.
I will say that Morgan is in chat and she's requested that Charles be at her picture.
Oh, instead of Bartholomew? Well, that's fine. Do. For those of you who are new to Second Wake, there are 2 NPC companions in this party. One of them is Bartholomew Iridan, a disgraced elf diplomat. The other is Charles. Actually, you know what? I kind of have... Don't we have like a better... I guess I don't have the translucent ready, do I? I'm like, we have new Charles art. I could put out new Charles art. But I don't think it's translucent. I think it's just a PNG. Right? How big is it? That kind of fits. It's just very white. There we go. Meh. Yeah, I like the other one better. This is why you should never be indecisive.
Oh, that one's so cute.
It's very cute. There we go. We'll go back to the original Charles art. Super fun. Again, why anyone was like, this adult needs to be able to have a credit card. Nope. I don't even use my credit card. Is it the sad thing? It just literally comes out of paychecks. Any hoozle, art's cool. Yes. So we will replace it at your wishes, Morrigan. May you close the store as best you're able. So yes, so much there. Starting with JJ, Constitution saving throw. Did you think I forgot? I didn't forget.
No.
No.
14.
14. With a 14, you begin to feel a bit of heat exhaustion pour into your body. You take a point of exhaustion for traveling through this very much humid wood. Velithil, what do we get? Survival or Constitution?
21.
21. Again, another day in the woods for an elf. There's no story here. There's no breaking news. None of the elves or elders need to be informed that an elf survives in woods. Orville, what do we have?
We also got a 21, just minus the 20.
Oh, you got a 1.
And that one, yeah.
That's always good. So yes, Kobold Jones, much to your chagrin, in your expertly led group, you've made sure to point out every pitfall. You've made sure to point out every single possible thing on the ground. Uneven terrain, the bushes that are definitely poisonous. Any type of what you would assume to be a hazard has been steered cleared from your expert survival check. However, as you turn back and you get this kind of queasy feeling in your stomach akin to when you last had corned dog, you turn and look, and you see Orville is looking over this delightful-looking tree. It is magnificent. It's a strangely almost like albino-ish oak-covered tree, and there are these large purple-looking grubs stuck to the side of it. As you turn back to look, Orville is not only sweating profusely, but swallowing these slugs about yay big. They're a little bit bigger than like a hot dog bun, and he's like, oh, and just wolfing them down.
Run over and try to slap him out of his hand.
That's a good start. So my first question though is, Orville, can you make me a Constitution save against poison?
I most certainly can try.
All right, great.
That's going to be a 7.
A 7, okay. Kobold Jones, you rush forward, slap one of the grubs out of Orville's hand. It splashes and squishes against the tree, and you see it kind of bubble up, almost like an acidic creature would, and slowly eat and corrode into this very much pale albino tree.
The next thing that I want to do is then jam my fingers down his throat to make him throw up.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine with me. Orville, Kobold Jones shoves his dirty koboldian fingers down your throat. Talons, I should say. He doesn't really have fingers. I know Kobold Jones doesn't have a gag reflex, but you guys are technically soul-linked. Do you want to have a gag reflex? Can I bring that up? Is this getting weird? How weird is this, Twitter?
Oh, it's not getting weird.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I will totally have a gag reflex. That's fine.
All right, make me a Constitution saving throw. Kobold Jones' proficiency is what, 3 right now or 4?
It's 3.
3?
Do you want me to do medicine or something?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, if you'd like. Yeah,
He's a doctor. Yeah, he's a doctor.
We'll do medicine versus con save. See how good his gag reflex is.
Crit.
Ooh, go for it, Orville.
12 on the con save.
12 on the con save. Immediately, you reach down. You feel 2 pinching talons around the other sides of your uvula. That's the little dangly bit for those of you who don't know words. And you kind of just like, dung dung, almost like door knocker the back of his throat. Instantly, your arm all the way up to your elbow is just covered in bile, and pieces of all of these grubs and noxious looking creatures spill out in a purple acidic frenzy. With a nat 20, you do manage to avoid the most of it, but you will still take 1 point of acid damage, Cobalt Jones. You do note that if this were to soak into armor, it would likely degrade and corrode through even well-worked metals. Orville, you, on the other hand, my dear friend, are going to take a point of exhaustion and 22 points of acid damage.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
All right, now get up off your ass and hold on to my back and don't touch any more grubs unless I say they're okay. And then I'm gonna try to like Yoda him the rest of the way, except imagine that it's Yoda carrying a slightly smaller Yoda.
Just 2 Yodas. I love the
2 brothers.
Yeah, 2 brothers. I love the Star Wars pitch of like, okay, we're gonna redo A New Hope, but it's just Yoda and another slightly smaller Yoda, and that's our show.
And it's not Grogu.
It's not It's a different Yoda. This one's Angie Yoda, or if we go by Chippendale standards, it is Ugly Yoda, because I mean, if it works for Ugly Sonic, it works for everybody. I knocked over all my straws. But yes, you will carry Orville's true sight but blind, no eyes having but with you through the rest of this journey. You all do eventually arrive back in the small meadow where the cleaner had to clean a number of things. The old rotted tree that is out up on its branches, this kind of like swamp water tree that you know your dear Bulette friend lives under, still sits in the distance, but otherwise it does seem as if there is a stark lack of spider folk and spiderkin in the area following your events from earlier in the day. At this point is a little later into the afternoon, probably closer to about 3 or 4 p.m. So you're getting closer to like early dinner at this point. But you do arrive without any further delays, obstacles, or horrible things that have happened to you.
JJ is just gonna be...
No, I take that back. Cobalt Jones, what'd you get for your survival or your con save? I missed the whole bottom row. I was so excited about a nat 1 on my chart.
That's right. Okay, so I got a 21. So
You're good.
Cobalt Jones is just over there like, all right, guys,
Toughen
the
it.
secret is that you just don't wipe the sweat off. It's supposed to cool you down. And
yes.
it just keeps going.
Fair enough. And Celeste, what do we get?
I got a 23, but I forgot to ask if JJ added the +3 from my aura.
Mm-mm.
So you got a 17, JJ?
I got a 17.
You can remove that point of exhaustion. I'll give that to you. Since Celeste didn't get a chance to speak and remind you of how awesome paladins are in parties in 5th edition. Not at all bullshit.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Go crit a bunny about it.
That's a good idea.
It's a solid use of your time. So yes, if I'll put it out there. There's a no bounty. If you kill 100 bunnies, I'll give you a title. Good luck.
What kind of a title?
I don't know. You have to figure it out. 100
Bunny
bunnies.
Slayer?
100 bunnies. We'll figure it out.
Roa's enemy?
I don't know. Who knows?
Bunty Hunter.
From
Bunny
now
hunter.
on,
Sounds weird.
anytime we're in the woods, Celeste is hardcore looking for bunnies. Just
Ooh.
side
JJ
note.
is terrified.
JJ as a rabbit herself.
She does
frightened.
not put 2 and 2 together that JJ is part bunny, so it doesn't matter.
She's a jackalope.
Alright.
It's like, yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
All right, Celeste, so here's what we really need to do. We need to get 2 bunnies, and then we just need to let them go at it, and then in no time, we'll have 100 bunnies. And right there, ripe for the picking. Just
If-
breed bunnies.
If Zelda is watching, don't
I
worry about how
don't
this
know
happens.
why,
The
but I
D&D thing.
feel like that's not a good idea. That sounds like mass murder. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
Whatever.
I mean, respectful.
JJ,
Yes, ma'am.
if we're going to all have a little chat here and figure out what we want to do next, could you make one of those arcane huts, see if it
Yeah.
maybe stops things from watching us?
Yeah, of course. I was just about to do that as we got here, and she's gonna I guess it's not too exhaustedly now, but sweatily and kind of slowly
Mhm.
work into tiny hut
Sure.
so that we may have a little space to be.
All right, you easily enough cash your ritualistic song that summons a rather domish hut. Walls of force interweaving among your words and limerick until the group is surrounded in a very tiny hut, a small hut. Yes, you seem to be protected from the elements at large and anyone else who might be taking a peep. Who knows? But the hut is cast.
Oh, that's
Then-
good.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Man, this thing has AC.
It is
Yeah.
temperate, specifically.
Mhm.
It's a good spell. I suppose I'll start our little conversation here. I'm sorry that you all have bounties on your heads because of me. I didn't expect that, and yeah, sorry.
Personally, I think that they're lousy bounty hunters because I definitely have more than just that.
Okay.
Bartholomew will chime in at that and go, so long as we don't go too far east, I only have just the one, so you're quite alright.
To be honest, I kind of figured we'd have some sort of bounty on us. I wasn't sure who would put it on us. But also, at the same time, I wonder how long that bounty... It's only been like a few weeks, right? But at the same time, like, we've just been walking around Deerwood. We've just kind of been walking around a whole bunch of places.
Yeah.
Kind of strange.
I'm not sure why they let me leave if they were going to do this.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not sure? 'Cause I'm gonna be honest. I think I know why, right? Because they want you dead, right? Because then there's definitely no chance of you coming back and trying to claim what's rightfully yours. I mean, although
I
we
don't-
signed it over, he doesn't really care, right?
I suppose, but I
It's not like you
have
can
no
just
claim.
leave it
I've
there.
completely corroborated their story. It's
Unless we went back and said we were forced to corroborate that story. Cooperate?
I
You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
suppose
Coercion.
that would be
Yes, that word.
the removal of any potential. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or they just wanted to make a show of like how, merciful and benevolent they were to let you go, and then just have you deal with her later, kind of a thing. I think that that's a pretty easy way to play it off too.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if Kobold Jonesy here is rubbing off on me, but when a government knows that you know too much, I think that's the time that they start to go,
Yeah, that's why I thought it was going to be from Ravon.
I thought so too, but thinking about it, I think we're too much of entertainment at this point.
Yeah,
I guess-
maybe.
I was kind of thinking on the walk back that it kind of does make sense. They were kind of the only folks that we left on like a really, really bad note. Or not like a really, really bad, but like a
We left them on red.
fundamental
Left them on red.
disagreement. Because everyone else we've kind of left open on interacting with. You don't deserve that though, Vel.
Yes, you do. Yes, you absolutely do deserve that bounty. We all do. Why? Because we're badasses. Okay? Don't for 1 second think you don't deserve to have a bounty on your head, because you do. Because you are fierce and you're a badass and you could go in there and you could take back what's rightfully yours any minute. You absolutely do deserve that bounty on your head. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Okay? You're fierce. You're a born killer if you want to be. Or not. Unless it's not the route you wanted to go.
Thank you for that interesting perspective.
You seen any bunnies around here?
Just
Other
kind of looks
than-
at JJ quickly before looking back. I don't. We're in a hut right now. You could go look for some if you want a pet bunny or something.
I'd be careful though. This is like Spider Town. There's probably not a lot of bunnies around here now that I'm thinking about it.
So let's remember that bunnies sometimes do burrow, and particularly one burrow around here I would not go back into.
Yeah, seems
What
like
are you trying to say, JJ? I think his feng shui was nice.
It was nice, but
I bet you he could tell us where all the bunnies are.
He's probably eaten most of them. Bunnies tend to be skittish.
It's all right. We'll find bunnies somewhere else.
that's a relief.
I suppose we get a bit more back into the now, then, and bit of enlightenment back there. What do we want to do? What do you want to do, JJ?
Know if that conversation gave me enough answers to not warrant more questions. I don't know what y'all think has happened. I know that Cobalt Jones and Celeste didn't get to see Grim Village really prior. Maybe Cobalt Jones saw it maybe on his travels south. I'm sure he stopped through. Maybe. I don't know. But I can't. It just feels like, T.T. Holdens is perhaps behind a lot of the things that we may have perceived to be bad. Something that I also assume that they had a hand in my father's untimely murder. And I'm kind of thinking a little bit on what Preeple said of not being happy with just taking out the weapon, but also, the wielder, the user, the source. It all feels like a very difficult situation because it seems like Grim Village has become this whole big thing now. And I don't want to ruin that for the people that live in Grim Village, but at the same time, they also pushed out the folks that lived in Grim Village. It's such a strange situation, and I want to get to the bottom of it, but I don't know the best way to do it. I feel like between a rock and a hard place at the moment.
Well, to me, there's still one glaring mystery we haven't looked into here, which is the madness and revelry in the evenings.
It would have been interesting to ask Preeple about that, huh? Totally slipped my mind.
It's a pretty expensive question to just go out there and look.
But it gives insight to from some other locals that have been here and maybe see it, but we can always see if we can talk to them about it later. But yeah, that's probably something we should take a look into.
If we don't want to hunker down for an evening here, we could likely make it back to witness whatever goes on the night here.
That might
Or
be
we'd
a
have to
good-
wait till tomorrow.
Seems like a lot of people are pretty worn out. The jungle doesn't take kindly.
I just followed all of your instructions. The sweat thing, the toes in the mud, it worked really well.
Yeah, it takes a leap of faith, and most aren't ready for that kind of commitment. So that's why.
I appreciate it.
Well, it's you know what would be interesting if we rested now, because this here dome stays up for about like a fool's rest, just about. That would put us about 3-4 in the morning. But if we moved maybe a little closer to wherever they suspect this hooting and hollering at night is, maybe we can sit the dome somewhere where we can watch overnight. That way we're blocked in.
That's true. Orville,
Yeah.
do you see Dave watching the dome out there?
Will stick his head through the dome and look up and take a quick scan for Dave.
Sure. Looking up, you do see above the dome a small collection of what look like floating eyes. They look like spherical eye, like an actual eyeball outside of a head removed from a skull, that seem to kind of hover over top. As you look around and scanning the tree line, you, again, as last time, when I was the one telling you how it was, you do see a rather short creature off into the kind of, not like horizon, but like right on the edge of the tree line before you get into the thick of it. You note a gleam of light every so often emanating out from an area, and a small kind of like, bigger than like Chunkini sized individual seems to be looking from behind a tree in your direction.
Urbal's kind of gonna throw his hand out and do it. Is that you over there, Dave?
There's another look left, look right, looks back at you, points at itself.
Yeah, you fella.
Goes hands up in the air. You see a small kick of like a dust cloud, and then they run back into the kind of forest.
Shoot, where'd you go now? Come back here.
Ask him if he sees any bunnies.
Hey, Dave, can you see any bunnies?
Shouting out to Dave. Doesn't seem like he's coming back.
All right, well, happy trails to you. Pop back on in.
All right.
Oh, I think that was Dave. He didn't want to identify himself and ran away when I called his name. But
Sounds guilty to me.
it sounds like a Dave move.
He did it yesterday.
That was
earlier
today.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
been such a long day.
Yeah. We heard that news broadcast this morning, and I have to assume that he's how they're keeping the sensors on us. So our location is just a bit too well known.
Yeah, or again that like sending stone thing that we have.
Maybe. I don't believe that spell can target objects, but I could be wrong. Montserrat or someone else could have modified it.
Isn't there some spooky stuff with hair or something like that too?
Yeah, well, then it just makes it easier for someone to find you.
Yeah, I mean we all slept in, his hotel rooms. I'm sure they got hair. I had hair at that time too, so they probably got hairs off all of us.
Some of us also gave a little bit of something to get token. Yeah.
True, blood.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not
that-
think about that.
I don't think any of us did at that time, to be honest.
I'm still pure.
That is right.
I'm proud of you.
But it looks like he's still got an orb for you. Is there 6?
Hard to say unless Oro wants to peek out again.
I think there were 7 before. We could do an exercise if we move apart and see if there's still one over each of us, or if there's multiple for some people or something.
It's like The Sim.
DM, can I roll insight at Kobold's statement of "I'm still pure" to gauge how much of a hooer that Kobold may be?
Oh my goodness. You know what? Sure, I'll allow it. Go ahead and roll insight. Why not? Sure.
That is going to be a 22.
A 22. You turn to your heterosexual, or maybe homosexual, we don't know at this point, life partner that you've been bonded with mind, body, soul, and spirit with. You're not taken on his form in a long time, but you look into these crocodilian, koboldian eyes, these very much emotionless, hateful eyes as they gaze back at both you and probably the surrounding area, because I learned that they have panoramic vision. And as you look upon them, there's a sense that, yeah, Kobold Jones fucks, 100%. The kind of guy that would show up to a first date in a leather jacket, talk about the war, offer to show you his scars, and then pay for the whole meal with a platinum piece. Oh yeah, he's got the Koboldian musk, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, no doubt in your mind, Orville.
Thank you, kind and generous DM.
You're welcome.
The way that I would like to describe it is that a kobold lives in 1 year the amount that an elf lives in 50. So
That's the way to look at it.
he has done everything.
Just Johnny Cash plays in the background. I've been everywhere.
How many stepchildren does Orville now have?
That is a question for a different campaign.
Jones doesn't even know.
Jones doesn't even know where the egg trail goes. Every Easter could be a homicide, could be a saving grace.
His favorite son was a Frizzard.
Whoa. It's me.
But yeah, I'll have Orville pop back out and do an eyeball count.
Sure. You pop back out. The moment your head sticks out from the area, there is a small face in your face. And just staring at you, you note this small kind of like almost weevil-like face has a singular eye that is missing and replaced with a large kind of almost brightly colored stone that seems to dance in the ethereal boundary. And you have this like breathing on your face. You slowly look up and you can see a collection of floating orbs up overhead. But this face is probably about an inch away from where your face is.
I know I was very much cautioned by Jonesy to not put foreign things in my mouth, but can I try and kiss this?
Yeah, go right
Just,
ahead. Yeah, roll an unarmed strike, we'll say.
Okay.
Wait a second, Orville's proficient in kissing?
Yeah, technically as a monk. He's a lip lock master. He's got a black belt.
Goodness, okay. Unarmed strike is going to be a 20 to hit.
20 to hit. You lean forward, and there's no hesitation in this individual, and you kiss them right on the forehead. And there's like a shuddering and a shaking. And then, do you speak Sylvan?
Nope.
You hear a muttering that sounds almost like a chittering of squirrels or natural noises escape out from this individual's mouth. And they kind of slowly lean forward, kiss you on the cheek.
Okay. Back to the mission at hand. How many eyeballs are there?
Look,
from the sky?
yeah, you turn and look. From what you're looking at, there do appear to be about 7 different eyes that are on this party.
Alright, he's gonna quickly 1, 2, 3, 7. Alright, that answers that. He's gonna look back to the head, try and give it another kiss, and then quickly pull back in.
Sure. You go in for another kiss. It lands on the forehead. As you go to pull back in, they seem to try to follow you. And then suddenly, JJ, you see a ripple across one of the force walls.
Orville, is everything okay out there?
DM, what am I rolling to conceal blushing?
Oh, I don't know. Knowledge bullshit. Deception, if you would like. Deception
Alright.
seems like the right stat for that.
Okay.
D&D, where sometimes we fight giant monsters, other times we try not to be cringe. You got a 5?
I got a 5.
Oh, yeah. Orville comes back looking at you. His cheeks are purple. He's blushing so hard, you think it might have hurt him.
Nothing, JJ.
Did someone hit you in the face?
Did you see a
Someone
dick?
hit the dome.
Well, there's 7 eyeballs out there, one for each of us.
Did they hit the dome?
No, the eyeballs didn't hit the dome.
What hit my dome then?
That's you not worry about it. It's alright.
Was it a bunny?
Best we not.
I mean, we just have a problem with the Bulette.
Yeah,
The
let me-
awaken.
don't worry about it.
Okay. Great. So 7 eyes. Let's assume that each of us has 9, except for Charles. Wait. No,
or
it
maybe
could be
Charles has 9, I don't.
Did you play games?
Nope.
Also, did you shake hands with Montserrat at all?
Didn't we have to?
Did we
I don't
touch Montserrat? I don't
think
think we
so.
touched Montserrat. I think we.
Maybe it was a verbal agreement. I don't remember. It was so long ago, like a whole month or something.
I think I might have.
Hugged him?
Shook his hand.
Oh.
Can't remember though.
Oh, well, or maybe someone's got 2.
Maybe.
If they come from several different sources, any one of us could be all 7 of them, especially if it is in fact an item that is attracting it.
Well, at first I thought it was the stone that Montserrat gave us as a gift, but now I'm wondering if it's actually Buddy and his sword.
He talks to his sword.
Well, like I said, we could all kind of split up a little bit, and Orville could see who has what eyes, and we'd know if it's all one for each or something else.
I guess it doesn't really matter though, right?
I mean, if
It's kind of
one
exciting
of us,
not to know.
well, we will still never know the source, but if we know that one of us has multiple, we'll know that that's likely not from the same place.
Like secret admirers.
Yes, or murderous stalkers.
Same
Either-
thing.
Either way, I hope I have 2.
I'm rooting for you and your fandom.
Thank you, me too. Okay, I'll go outside first. And I'll run over to that big tree over there.
We could do this later.
Well, we were going to if we're going to walk back and get closer to the village, we can do it while we're walking back. And
Yeah.
more a question right now if we need to rest a little bit for anyone who's tired from the trek, or maybe ingested a lot of acid.
Yeah, Orville, do you need something to help your tum? That was kind of intense.
I've had worse 3 a.m. snacks. I'll be alright.
Those grubs are a lot worse when you don't throw them up. Trust me, I know.
Oh, what have they done? Like kind of like your corn incident?
Kind of just destroys everything on the inside and then like works its way through your whole body. So yeah, basically.
Yeah, alright. That's about what I figured. Well, thank you for saving me from that, and I suppose everybody else from the smell too.
Yeah, imagine if we would have had to stop for that.
No, thank you.
I still would have carried them.
While he's
Glad-
pooping?
I'm glad that that's a burden that you would want to bear.
There's worse things than poop, you know.
Name 2.
Corn. vegetables, just in general, I guess. I'll lump that in there. And
Is
then,
it
I guess an alternate. No offense, but also probably elves.
yeah, that's fair.
Bartholomew looks a little sad.
Uh, present company excluded, of course.
Oh, of course, sir.
But yeah, mostly vegetables, I would say.
Dude, you just said that in front of Buddy.
And despite that, he's still my bestie. And I'll give him a little nudge.
Oh, yes. Besties. Me in the sky.
Alright,
Right
now you're
there.
just making it weird.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that's my fault. So, are we to embroil ourselves in this incident? I know Miss Lightning has a vested interest, I will say, in much of the goings-on of this area, but as both your hired friend, diplomat, and whatever all the weird spiritual things are, associate, there are a number of things that we could busy our time with, other than, I don't know if this is corporate espionage at this point, or wholesale murder, or I suppose it falls to you, Miss Lightning. Are we to embroil ourselves into this very delicate business and political situation on your behest? I would happily do so, but I don't want to dishonor yourself or your family, if that is not what you are, as Mr. Jones would say, about.
That's the big thing. Cause I don't know what I'm not sure what taking care of this would look like. Because there's still so many questions, and they're not going to want to be upfront with us about it whatsoever. Them being TT Holdings as a core group, because I think that we had asked the Master of the House, whatever, if he's ever heard of Corville, whatever, and he told me no. But he flashed before his brain, Moore says.
So he's a liar, then?
Yeah, he's a liar, clearly. And then, as sweet as Georgie is, there's some... I feel like he gets whatever he needs done. I just have a concern that they did so much to... What I assume they did so much to secure their purchase of the Grim Village area. And I don't know what upending them looks like as a whole.
If I may offer a small bit of advice in the situation?
Of course. Your advice is always appreciated.
Thank you so much, Miss Lightning. As it relates to the Office of Diplomacy, there seems to be a correlation between this Mr. TT and his, of course, holdings company, and the holdings company and their claims to lands surrounding Grim Village. Now, in a previous case that I advised on, for, of course, the Elven nobility, there was a similar situation with an individual who had claimed the rights to a swamp out of Ilzer. Now, that individual was the sole owner of Ilzer, and thus we had to, by Elven decree, destabilize their control and hold of the area. Now, for many people, this would be, of course, considered a war crime, but in this situation, I do not think TT Holdings is its own governing body, and from what Miss Galante has made me aware of, we more or less have the blessings of the high nobility within Deerwood. So, destabilizing them could be as simple as presenting proof, asking them to confess, and when that fails, we we Jonesy it, shall we say.
Okay. So we would present this proof to them,
Mhm.
or we would present it to the folks at Deerwood? No, because they've got too much going on. We'd have to take it to them.
Maybe the folks who are tending to the fields and building within Grim Village might be adequate, or if we want to have the opportunity to seize control of the village itself, well, I do believe the two most important people would be in the room when it happens.
Hmm. So if we destabilize it, what does it become? I guess I'm trying to look towards the future too much.
Well,
And I guess Grim Village has always kind of been its own thing, but the change is so quick and back and forth for them, you know?
well, I do believe there is a bit of legitimacy in releasing the lands back to the previous owners. I'm sure documentation of that purchase is still available in there. Alternatively, it is an entire village, and there are a number of resources that is beholden to. There's Miss Preeple. She could likely provide protection for the village itself, and it seems as if she has no love for Mr. TT, so she might be able to be an associate or confidant, as long as you remember to pay her. Or, and this is again being rather presumptuous, if the documentation and writ of law is kept nearby, once there is no claimant of it, it would only need a, shall we say, professional hand to have such documents transferred over to the new rightful owners. Of course, this is all very hypothetical, of course.
Hypothetically, yes.
Hypothetically, of course. But in that instance, I have seen elven nobility do such before. Yes.
Okay.
We could also, if we were feeling less charitable, Bartholomew will look to Morgan, go, we could, of course, ransom the land once it has no official owner back to whomever you would want. I do know of a small commune of demonic worshipping psychopaths that perhaps would welcome a new village at that point. Just something out there, perhaps.
Couldn't we just give the village back to the scimitars? Wasn't it theirs anyway?
I don't believe it was truly theirs, Miss Celeste. I believe part of their populace might have held land, but they do seem to be more of the take what we want types, not the owning what we want types.
We also could send the workforce down to Deerwood to help with the repairs while we decide what happens up here and whose hands we leave it in.
We could also see if it could be some sort of expansion.
Very true. That would be, of course, if you wanted to involve the Lady Galanti in this. That might be an opportunity. It would technically not be a takeover of a noble house doing so, as you are beset onto yourselves as seekers. Rather, weavers chosen, but for this instance, seekers of Galanti.
I will say,
Oh, go ahead.
JJ, I do have some concerns about walking away from this, considering that they still seem to have every intent to somehow lay claim to your family's shinery. It's still on the menu, it's just unavailable at this time.
That's what I thought too. I had as well the idea to tell them directly my thoughts, but without a confession of sorts. I don't feel right because I know that my family would take it upon themselves to handle the situation.
Mhm.
Now I do like the idea of handing it over to perhaps them and our demonic friends. Mom has always been a good homesteader and good at looking after folks. Maybe it's something the community wants. They seem to. Even Preple said that she has heard good of my kin. So, I do like the idea of confronting, maybe. But I don't want us to get stuck there. I'm just concerned that, if they confess, maybe they've got some sort of thing where they magically lock us up or some shit. I guess I'm just trying to work every angle, but maybe we should just go for it and talk to them and see what happens.
And yeah, if we confront them with what we know, and if he's not willing to confess at that point, we'll see if we can Jones the confession out of him.
I just want to make sure that we got are getting our ducks in a row here. But what evidence do we have?
What? You don't know what evidence we have? Tell him, JJ. Tell him all the evidence we have.
We have a bunch of circumstantial evidence, to be honest. That's the big thing. We haven't found anything distinctly concrete other than Corvus was at the house. I saw his face. He met with my father. His dagger was left at the scene. Which I thought, now that I have Preples as well, for it to be something that seems to be so close to them and so, essential to their brother and sister sibling thing, found it weird that it would be left there. Kind of like it would trace back to them in particular.
Unless it was a setup.
Wasn't that the point of that type of dagger? It was meant to be left as a signal?
I guess so. But I'm not sure why Corvus would implicate his sister, who is the head of the Cross Scimitars. It doesn't seem...
Well, maybe he thought we would just go in there guns blazing.
And kill his sister and her kin? And her folk?
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. We almost did.
It seems to me that brother and sister alike would likely be willing to do anything for the right amount of coin, and TT likely offered him the right amount of coin.
To be fair, we don't know yet if TT is fully involved.
We know that Morgan saw a flash of Corvus's face in the same meeting room from TT's mind.
Why are we talking about Morgan like she's not right here? She's right there.
Morgan looks
No.
at you
Right,
and
Morgan?
is just like, "Nah, it's all right."
Squeak, squeak.
Squeak, squeak. Bunch of gray ravens fall out of her.
For some reason, it feels like Morgan's just not all here.
She's between worlds.
Why did she make a squeak noise?
I don't know.
It's Charles.
It's Charles.
Oh, I thought everything was just getting squeaky clean.
Nah. Charles is cosplaying as Morgan this week. Small dire rat, tall half elf, same thing, man.
He finally replaced the strongest of us.
Oh,
Look
there
at me.
you go.
Now I'm the strongest.
I am number one. Charles
Okay.
Strong.
So, but she only saw a flash of him. That just could mean that maybe TT knows who we were talking about, but just didn't want to say because he didn't want to be implicated.
Except he behaved as if he had no idea. He offered us the coin to find the killer, and said, could it be connected to the scimitars? He acted as if he had no idea of who it was at all. He acted as if he had no idea the murder happened, and yet we know he met with the murderer.
Also, I don't know if y'all enjoy crime novellas, novels, information, but a lot of the times
I like a good.
killers like to get close and like
So,
to
but it could've
involve
been
themselves
Georgie.
somehow.
But
Oh, I think it was Georgie that
technically,
hired
TT
him.
is involved with Georgie, and then
Yeah.
Georgie hired Corville, but TT didn't know that. Let's just go. Let's just go find out.
No.
They're all together. Look, my whole... Okay, let me just let y'all know what I think about this whole Grim Village thing. I think that they set fire to the houses to drive down the property values. Makes sense to me. Trying to move on in. That is an assumption that I have made thus far. Obviously they've swooped in. I have the assumption that Georgie hired Corvus to take care of my father. There were tons of kind of aggressive notes in my father's desk from a TT Holdings or a TT whatever. I think they maybe saw him more as competition. You can totally respect someone's business, but it can still be cutthroat, competition. And it seems like they'll do whatever that they can to get what they want. And to have that, I'm also thinking to have the ire of someone, my goodness, his name is slipping from my brain, but our friend that we can contact through the business cards, to have a kind of not be on his good side, or to be on a side where he's trying to keep the area not quite as profitable, seems to be sticking weird as well. He may just they may just have their fingers in various parts of the pie, but I mean, we kind of just left that be, and he hasn't quite bothered us, so.
JJ,
Yes, ma'am.
there is one bit we didn't really check it, but we got a copy of a page from TT. We never checked his handwriting versus the notes. I remember when looking at the notes, it did seem like a very elegant hand wrote it. Confirming that he is the one who actively wrote those threats is another massive piece of evidence.
We should take the time to go through that for a moment. That's a great idea.
These are the things that slip my mind in between sessions, and then I'm like, oh, hold on, 3 weeks ago, what was that shit I was thinking about?
Alright, okay. We've got that. We have that note on us, right? Both of them?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so. Okay. JJ will start going through and matching. If anyone would like to assist, if Vel would like to assist.
Yeah, Vel is very much so helping.
Start
And we'll
picking
even
apart.
give you a little bit of guidance from our beloved Huggy Bear.
True. Yeah, go ahead here and give me your choice. And I'm sorry, no, it's going to be investigation is what you're specifically looking at. You can assist if you're trained in investigation. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Celeste watches as two other people play detective. The Celeste crime scene investigation theme song that totally is not like the regular crime scene investigation theme song plays.
She's just outsourcing right now.
Yeah, instead of like a heavy riff, it's more like ting. So it's like ting 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 ting. Wah 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 wah. Ting 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 ting.
Piece of aluminum that
Yeah,
Kobold is shaking in the background.
It's like a washboard. What do we have, JJ?
Was I rolling that at an advantage, or I only rolled one?
I believe it's advantage because Vel says she's trained in investigation, right?
Yes.
And a D4 added to it for guidance.
I'm good at investigation. I'm good at helping. I learned it from Celeste.
I learned it from watching you.
Celeste is our leader.
I mean,
I want to be
definitive leader.
cyclical with Celeste being like, I learned it from you, and then Fellas, I know I learned it from you.
oh god.
The student
Sorry.
teaches the master.
Now
Numbers
I
are
am the
hard.
master.
18.
18. All right. So with an 18, you look over the documentation and paperwork. You pull out everything that was left at your father's bureau. You pull out everything you managed to acquire within Grim Village. There are a number of inconsistencies with an 18 that you point out almost immediately. Primarily, many of the threatening notes don't seem to match even onto themselves. There are a number of notes that seem to have this very flowery, large, and kind of distinct writing style. But the small bits of information you took down from Mr. Tuan Tuan don't seem to truly match this handwriting. You do note that the original request for a purchase order that's been found for several cases and barrels of whiskey does match the same documentation of Mr. Tuan Tuan. Looking it over, the small card that you were handed from Georgie seems to match the elegant writing on many of the threatening letters.
This is a
Press
pretty
my
damning
case.
piece of evidence. Well, we got a bunch
Boom.
of circumstantial.
Evidence.
We got a bunch of circumstantial and some pretty damning physical evidence at this point.
So TT may be less aware of things than how much he just lets Georgie handle them.
We have to play it off cool though when we go back into town, and we have to get an audience with Mr.
Us?
TT.
Play it
Oh.
off. Cool. Have you met us?
I'm nothing but cool.
I know
Yeah.
that we are the coolest folks
Like-
around.
Ice cold.
You're some of the coolest people I have ever met.
I am
That's
cold-blooded,
really
technically.
sweet.
So
Miss Vel.
I
You're
do
a
wanna
pretty
say-
cool person. Oh,
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt the compliments, but I do want to say that you need to make sure that before we do this, get your morals in check, all right? Because it's going to be egg on your face if they whip around with some. They prepared for this evidence to counteract your evidence, but then they're like, "We got you," or something like that. And then you don't know anymore if they're innocent or guilty or what. But we still got to kill them. So I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I do want to say that I'm on board because I'm trying to kill these capitalist motherfuckers who are exploiting these laborers, and it's going down.
I
So
think
my
that-
morals are in check, and make sure yours are. I think.
you know,
I think they pay pretty well, honestly.
what would be interesting is if we could talk to them. I wonder if Mr. TT has that room on lock, like my father had on his. It seemed like he had on his office, like a special, like magical lockdown, or if we could. Because then everything that we do is being transcribed and recorded almost, it seems like, by these orbs.
We'd have
And if
to
there's-
trust Orville's eyes for where they can't follow us.
And then we'd have confession on almost air.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
trust in that being told as they see it if it's Montserrat.
The Stinkers murder innocent gnome. More at 11.
That sounds about right.
We're not killing a
Wait.
gnome, though, right?
Yeah,
we're just
to
we're just
be honest,
asking questions
if-
right now.
If
Jones.
Mr. TT is not at fault here,
Look, I'm ready to
Then-
body a gnome.
We can do that.
Right. So do we want to confront TT with this first, or do we want to confront Georgie?
I vote instead of doing both of that first, we do that whole night thing where we watch what's going on.
We
Outside.
can observe the evening first, that is true.
I think we do that first. What if it's all connected?
It could be.
We're going to need a map and a lot of red string then.
But to answer the question of who do we approach with this first, I don't trust Georgie at this point.
It's really sad, I
Okay.
liked him.
Yeah, he seemed very sweet, but almost too sweet.
It's always the sweet ones.
Yeah.
I can tell the
but-
first time that he barked at that server.
Yeah, that wasn't very kind at all. That's not how you treat wait staff. But, yeah, I
Right.
think I would go to TT first, but I also don't know. This is sticky. What were you gonna say, Miss Bell?
Why don't we go with the initial thought we had, which is heading back now and setting up another tent when it's a bit more proper nighttime and try and observe a bit more closely some of the ruckus that's going on.
Mhm.
Then in the morning we can decide exactly how we want to venture at that point.
Me and Morgan will take first watch on the chaos.
So the plan is to
think that's-
travel back to town and then set up a camp in town,
Or near town, yeah.
near town. Okay, easy enough to do. Is there anything else you want to do? Or can we? Let's take a break right here for like 10 minutes. That sound good? Actually, we'll do it for 5. It's 8:40. We'll come back at like 8:46. Right? Sound good? If there's nothing else you guys want to do here, we'll pick up after break at you guys arriving back in town. That work for everybody?
There is one other thing. I do want to do the little see if it's everyone that has an orb. Or if it's multiple on one person.
Oh, okay, sure. So you just need the answer to who's following what?
Yeah, if it's just one per person or if there's multiple on any individual one of us.
Sure. You can't see it. So Orville will learn that 5 of the 7 orbs seem to only follow around JJ specifically. 1 orb follows Celeste, and 1 orb follows Bartholomew.
Man, I only got one?
Only 1.
Fuck me.
JJ, you're so popular.
Why am I so popular?
Probably the amazing charisma.
Oh god.
With that, we'll go take our break here. 8:42. We'll come back in about, say, 6 minutes. So we'll do for like 8:48-ish. See you in a bit, guys. We appreciate you staying with us. You level 20 characters. We'll see you after the break. Peace. Hey, look at that. We're back. Hi, folks. It's me, Greensmere, Caesar Galante, Second Wake. We thank you for sticking with us after the break, you level 20 characters. If you're catching us on the rebroadcast on youtube.com/a bunch of letters, we thank you for that as well. Every little bit helps. The point is to build a fun community of people who love and respect Dungeons & Dragons. So yeah, feel free to join in if that is your jammy jam, as they say in some places. I don't know. Someone probably says that. Not me specifically, but whatever. All right, then. So when we went to break, the group was faced with a number of topics of discussion out of the information they had come to find and understand as it slowly encroached into their mind holes. Come to find out that a number of people are being watched over by unseen creatures or beings of ability, able to do so for whatever reason that may be, who may yet know. With that as well, we pick back up after the break. You, the group, the Seekers of Galante, have now re-arrived outside of the boundaries of Grim Village, the kind of focus and central point of this current story. As you arrive, it is late into the evening, some several hours passing again. You approach, I assume, under cover of probably like the beginning of evening, the darkness of the afternoon, to arrive in town unseen and unmolested by any would-be citizen of the town itself. You said you all wanted to set up near the river, or do you want to head into the town proper? That is up to you guys. Please let me know, as they say.
I mean, you'd need 10 minutes to set up the dome, and it could be noticed, so we don't want to be too close, right?
The gnome,
Yeah.
the dome is rather colorful.
Yeah. It's like a solid color, right?
Yeah, it's any
Yeah.
any opaque color of your choice.
I could make it like ground colored, or I could make it look like a very round square stone, whatever shape that we decide to.
Being
it's-
near, closer to the river or tree line is probably the best option. Then anyone who's in good enough condition could exit to go check out and return, as long as JJ doesn't leave.
Yep.
Like,
I'm pretty.
we really
sneaky.
don't know too much exactly about what goes on at night.
Beats go down at night. The beats come out at night.
That sounds good. We could just set it up down there, or is what was formerly Quas, what's now Honeycutt's
Mm-hmm.
lodgings?
The honey hole.
Is that like the honey hole? Is that too far? If we like set up outside of that again?
You do remember that Captain Colt Honeycutt did in fact tell you that from their honey hole, they often remarked on seeing a number of these villagers in festivities, to say the least.
We could also set it up there.
I'm down with hanging near the honey hole.
It's a little sticky,
Just a little.
just a little. Up to you.
What say you, team?
What say you, team? Morgan, of course, will offer to do the ninja rogue thing, which is go do all the scouting and never worry about it. But it's up to you guys. Morgan legitimately...
I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I was like, Morgan legitimately has the speed, the stealth, and the skills to steal any point of information not in the casino.
She can make herself invisible too
Yeah. Mhm.
at this point, so she's equipped.
Yeah, I think even though she is not here in person, I will not discredit the build of her character, which is any time in the history of this campaign that information is needed, she is your kind of press 1 for more information kind of button. So it's up to you guys. You could probably, there could be an argument that you guys could just camp randomly out in the middle of nowhere, away from town, and Morgan could still probably infiltrate, get the information, and come back to you before morning. It's up to you guys. Or if you want to send an armored guard, that's fine too.
I wish we were doing that when she was here so that she could
Same.
experience it, you know? It's like, oh, we're going to rely on your character.
She's gonna fail a roll, and then she's gonna be killed. We're not gonna know. She wasn't even here.
Nobody knows.
Be good.
In the room where it happened.
I think that we should still probably post up near the honey hole.
Posting up near their honey hole.
That's fine by me.
All
We
right.
might get some residual honey over here.
Sure. You guys stealthily make your long trek into town. It is, again, into the evening at this point. JJ, you arrive near the old docks of Quas Questing and Expeditions. Now there seems to be a sign hanging underneath, which says Honey Trail Huntings. And it seems like mostly they just made a sign and put it over the old sign. And there seems to be a small note of under new management. You arrive though, without anyone really noticing y'all's arrival. If you'd like, you can set up the dome kind of near that rocky crag area nearest the river, where you guys had found a number of the looters from before. But it is easy enough to do, and you guys are right on the outskirts of town with no real issue or complication. What's the plan?
Guess we just watch out and then send Morgan to go do her thing.
Okay. So you're having her just investigate the city at large?
Yeah, I guess specifically any oddities too, or revelry, or I don't know, weird shenanigans going on that wouldn't just be like a college town.
Of course. Easy enough to do. Who is your first set of watches? So Morgan will stealth out into the city, throw up her hood, vanish, and head off in a different direction. For the rest of you, who is keeping watch?
I just want to say real quick too, if someone wants, I can cast invisibility on someone once.
It's true.
If anyone else wants to go. But JJ will take first watch.
I think only Vel is not exhausted.
I think Val can also take all watches if she wants now with new elf nonsense.
New elf, we just
Sure could.
It's kind of dumb.
What's the plan?
Val will take the later watch.
Okay. So JJ
Third.
on first, Vel on third. Who's on second? We split up into 3 watches.
I could do it.
You do it? Bubble Jones in the middle watch. Easy enough. Morgan makes her way out of the camp. The exhausted...
Before,
Oh, yes, go ahead.
before Morgan leaves, can
Mhm.
I oh,
What?
hold on one second.
Uh-oh. Secret best friend communications? Is that what I'm seeing? I see scrolling. I see fields of green, red roses too. I see a paladin looking for notes for you. And I think to myself, what would Morgan most do? That's right, that's for free. You're welcome, Spotify. At
We
me.
appreciate your beautiful song,
Thank
but
you.
never mind.
Looks like
But
I
I
have-
had only it's a very short
Here it
time,
is, like,
so
in my neck. Anyway.
I'll just I'll stay up with JJ in hopes that Morgan gets back before I pass out.
Okay. Stay up with Morgan. Morgan will set out for the evening. JJ, you and Celeste stay up. I need one of the two of you to roll me a d12.
Three.
Three in the city at evening. Okay. Celeste and JJ, please roll perception checks as you keep watch. I will roll the D100. I've been here the whole time. Oh, there's like a Bali dance.
25 on JJ.
25 on JJ. And Celeste?
It's an 18.
18. Good lord. 2 high rolls. You both keep watch as evening falls towards night. You begin to kind of watch over the area. Morgan has already left. She's been gone now for inside of about 3 hours. You do watch as in the distance, the embers of what appears to be a large campfire are struck, and you can see small, faint, kind of like fairy lit light that seems to radiate out from a larger bonfire area in town. So anything you all would like to do, or would you like to progress to second watch?
It's strange to light a bonfire in town.
Do you see that?
The bonfire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's a little strange.
Do you think Morgan's okay? Should we do something?
Morgan's really good at handling herself as far as I've known her. I wouldn't worry about a bonfire too much yet. You can always go check if you want. I sadly cannot leave this dome. I am stuck here.
Accurate.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to go check? I could go check. Do you want me to go check? Do you think I should go check?
Only if you think you should.
Do you think that I should?
I can't make that decision for you.
If you were me, would you?
I rightly don't know.
What makes a party go neutral?
Morgan, I appreciate her. She's awesome. And she's really, really good at checking stuff out and doing stuff on her own. I mean, she even did all that she did recently in Deerwood on her own, which is so cool. Despite, what the consequences or whatever, I don't know. Benefits, I'm not sure how she's leveled with that yet, but she's pretty awesome. She can usually handle herself. But I understand if you're concerned. You can always go if you want. I just can't.
Oh yeah, I mean she's got it, right? We shouldn't be worried.
Always room for worry, but
Oh,
sometimes you gotta let little birds go. They'll flutter back to their nest.
unless Chunkini gets them. And then what do we do?
Well, thankfully, Chunkini's on her side. So I'm gonna assume that she'll get back
Okay, alright.
at this time.
Yeah. that's
I can
fine.
always send to her if it starts to get too close to morning.
Oh, that's good.
And check
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll wait here. And I'm just gonna start drawing in the dirt.
Mhm.
A little pony,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do. This is so stupid, but I'm gonna cast Find Steed in the dirt.
A fine steed, and you're specifically looking for a pony?
Yeah.
All right. You cast Find Steed. I need you to roll me a D100.
$95.
95. Okay. So, let's make sure I have it right here. Kyvie.
Quick question,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what Find Steed does. Is it considered a creature?
It is a
Still-
creature. It is a
Okay.
spirit that assumes the form of a unusually intelligent, strong, and loyal steed. So, with that, Celeste, at a 95, you begin to conjure inside of the dome. You see the earth slowly twist over the ground itself. You watch, and you can see these small kind of rippling effects emanate out from the other side of the force barrier that JJ has conjured. And slowly the rippling shakes, almost like kind of like Jurassic Park in a way. And then it finally stops. You hear a harumph fill the small dome. The earth and small doodle of your pony twists in the dirt itself and slowly, almost like a tumbleweed, washes over it and vanishes. Your shadow grows long inside the dome. And you hear from behind you. And you turn to look, and a size small pony is sat behind you, perfect for any halfling that might want to ride upon it.
Celestrodon.
Look! We have a friend! I knew I could find one. Oh man. Wait till
He's-
Orville sees it.
Are you supposed to ride that thing?
Well. No. Technically. Okay, so here's the deal, right? I'm still just trying to get my grasps on this. I just learned how to do it. And so, like, I was doodling the other day and, like, I tried doing it and it was, like, really tiny. And I was like, whoa, that's not going to do anything. And then I thought I would try again. And this time it's a little bit bigger. Soon it'll be a full grown horse one day, you know? But for now,
Celeste,
yeah.
you hear a voice in your head telepathically as you are within 1 mile of your steed. You hear, I don't quite know why I continue to regress. Why have you done this to me? Your pony turns and looks at you, this very much dwarfed pony.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I think the pony just spoke to me.
I mean, you summoned it, so it makes somewhat of sense.
I'm just gonna reach out my hand and, like, try and pet the pony.
You slowly are able to pet this very small, diminutive pony, a little pony, if you will. And it, again, telepathically looks at you and has this form of unearthly sentience. Its looks kind of remind you a bit of the kind of strange and almost supernatural look of the creatures of the Feywild. And you suspect that this pony you have summoned does have the Fey subtype that has been laid onto it instead of Celestial or Fiend. And it looks you over and goes, I was hoping to be a warhorse or a camel, and you have made me a pony. Does this amuse you? Is this a game to you?
No, you're perfect.
Perfect.
Yes, you're perfect. I'm sorry. I'm just getting used to this. Maybe I did it wrong.
How are we to venture if you could not
what do you-
ride upon my saddle?
No, but you can do great things. You don't. You know what? I know just the rat
The rat.
that could work for you. You know what? I have just the guy, okay? I don't need to be the one that rides you yet, right? Maybe one day, but for now, Charles, he's getting his beauty sleep. He could ride you into battle. He is a very fierce warrior and would do wonderful things with you.
So
But-
that I am understanding this, O summoner, you wish to pawn me off to a
No,
rat?
no. Wait a second. I'm not pawning you off anywhere.
You hear like a small cough in your mind, and the pony's voice slightly changes. Look here, lady. Cut the shit. I can only be cute for so long, okay? I am a royal spirit to be ridden upon into battle in service of a holy champion of gods. And you've made me a pony, lady! And you see, and JJ, at this point, you see this pony rear up a little bit and is looking at its front hooves and seems like it can kind of stand on its hinds a little bit. And it kind of puts its little hooves on its hips. And you see it going, But you don't quite understand it. To Celeste, you do hear this very much Fey, almost, we'll say, South Randyland type of accent. Is my existence a motherfucking joke to you? Is this what it's about?
No, you're beautiful.
I was told by the queen
What queen?
of shadows and light
Oh,
within the Unseelie courts
whoa.
that I would be summoned by a most noble of champions and be given a form commiserate with such a great deed. I'm a pony!
No, I just...
Look at me! Whose ass am I gonna kick like this?
So many people's asses.
How many people's asses?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Don't even worry.
Yeah,
Okay?
Yeah, of course.
We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mad?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, we'll get it. Okay. I kind of fucked up, huh?
Look, you kind of made a real shit sandwich here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Again, JJ, the entire time watching, you're shooting. Just number of hoarse grunts and noises.
Question. For Celeste more so than anything, is Celeste having this conversation entirely telepathically, or is Celeste also physically voicing her side of the conversation?
That's another good question for Celeste.
I feel like it's a little bit of both because she doesn't know that she's talking telepathically
Yeah, that's probably fair.
when she's doing it, right? Because, like, I don't even know what that is. So I think it's more like, no, it's okay. And then in her mind, it's like, oh, shit. Which obviously gets relayed to our new friend here.
She's just gonna be staring at Celeste, kind of just jaw drop, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, this small pony seems to have been also summoned so that it wouldn't crush everyone in this orb. Just as a heads up, and why I had you roll for it. But yes, you have a. If you would like to write down, you have summoned a mount, and it is a dwarf pony. So it is a miniature pony specifically, and it has the Fey subtype. But in all other aspects, it is a pony, and it is a spirit from beyond the realm that you have now called to service as your mighty steed and mount. And it is small.
Diminutive, even.
It's not diminutive. That is a size in this game. It's specifically a small pony. Instead of a pony that would have trampled everyone in this dome.
DM.
Yes, sir.
Just for room for interpretation here.
Of course.
When you say dwarf pony, does it have like a beard at all? Maybe some scales?
No, there's legitimately in real life. There's a thing
just
called
small.
Yeah. Hold on.
Alright.
Let me see here.
No, it's like Lil Sebastian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he just was trying to have some flavor on
Bye bye, little Sebastian.
Hold on. I will pull up a picture of precisely what your pony looks like. I'm going to name this file My Little Pony. And we're going to bring it up on the main screen. We're going to put it in my showcase image slot. That's how important this is to me. So we're all clear. So Celeste, let's see
Get your
here.
videos taken down.
Probably. That's
Infringement.
fine. That's fine.
Photograph of a dwarf horse.
Yeah, that's fair. It's lewd and lascivious behavior to show dwarf horses off. Oops. Okay, the image is 1 billion feet tall, even though the dwarf pony is very small.
He whipped out his what?
Yeah, this is, for some reason, I downloaded a 4K image that is the size of the entire stream and then some. There we go. All right, so
As you
Celeste,
should.
the pony that you have summoned looks a heck of a lot like this horse.
It's a fairy horse.
It is a tiny Fey pony. And it is rather upset with you. It's in fact cross. But magically, it has to be your friend. So it's not that upset, because it's not allowed to be that upset. But it is intelligence 6, and knows you done fucked the spell up.
Hear that, Celeste? Friendship is magic.
Literally magic.
I'm angry.
He's so much cuter than I thought.
Oh, it's adorable. Dwarf ponies are super cute.
Miss Celeste, are you okay? You've been kind of like talking here and there.
You don't hear. I'm sorry, friend. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have a name. Kind of. I don't know. What's my name?
You don't know your name?
Well, I have a name from before, but I've
What was
never been
it?
a tiny pony before.
What was your name before?
Can't give you that.
Why?
I don't know you that well. You could hold it over me and summon me a bunch.
Well, I guess that's fair, actually.
You're welcome. So what's my name?
What? I just asked you that.
You're the one who summoned me.
You want me to name you?
I would like a name, if it's not too much trouble. I could have had trampling hooves to crush skulls of my enemies. But no. Tiny little pony fingers. Wait, these are hooves. Could have been a lizard. You didn't really, think this whole freaking thing out, did you?
JJ, this angry pony
Oh,
here.
don't tell her I'm angry.
He's so angry.
I-
Can you hear him?
Hey,
I can see him kind of
again, you're hearing
stand like that.
He's so mad. I think I fucked up the spell, JJ.
Did you try and summon something inside of this dome? Because you cannot summon anything inside of this dome.
That is also correct.
What? Why didn't you say?
I had no clue what you were doing whatsoever. I thought you were drawing in the sand.
I was. I could have killed this pony.
I mean, in many
You could have
respects, you
killed
have
us,
killed me.
too.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I mean,
But the
I'm
pony-
like a freaking small pony over here.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that it was going to make you small.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Who would have known?
He's testy, JJ. He's testy.
What's my freaking name?
I don't know.
Give me a
JJ,
freaking
he
name.
needs a freaking name.
JJ, you watch this pony go back on all fours, walk up, and start headbutting Celeste in the hip. Give me a name. Give me a name. I want a freaking name. Hey, yous, give me a name.
It's technically your pony. I think you have to name it.
Well, what do we name him? I don't know.
We? That thing's not... That
Whoa,
thing
did she
was
say
angry.
thing? Whoa, hold the freaking
Oh.
horse. Did this lady
Oh,
just
no.
call me a thing?
Oh,
Did this carrot cruncher call me a thing?
Carrot Cruncher.
And
No,
you see
no,
it
no.
rear
You
up
can't
a
call
little
her
bit
that.
And kind of do the old Black Beauty against JJ.
How, in retrospect, so stupid. How big is this pony compared to me? Can I just scoop this?
Oh,
If
this
he
is- yeah,
tries,
it's like 2.5
going
foot
for her,
tall
can I
horse.
just scoop him?
Yeah, the
Okay.
horse takes up less than 5 feet. Otherwise, the spell would have either failed immediately or crushed everyone to death.
Oh, no. I'm so
Yeah.
glad it didn't kill Val.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of money. So you have it's like a small little 2.5 foot tall horse, and it's about maybe 1.5 foot, 1.75 foot long.
You know what you should do for that thing? That little horse you got? You should get one of them backpacks that people put their dogs in when they go traveling and hiking.
Did she call
And
me a
you can
fucking
just
dog?
Stick them on it.
Whoa,
You can stick them on your back.
She called me a dog? What is this lady?
Then you can have a
Let
horse.
me at her. I'm gonna chew
You
her
can have
hair.
a horse in a backpack.
I'm
JJ.
gonna
have
eat
to
her
watch
roots.
JJ,
Which one of these bags she sleep in? I'm gonna shit in it.
he's going to shit in your bag.
Don't tell her my plans.
I'm not supposed to tell you that.
Yeah, don't tell her anything.
I'm not supposed to tell you anything.
That's right. Now on, it's just me
I
and
don't
you,
like
kid.
your new pet.
You're a carrot muncher.
Oh, you racism.
That's pretty racist, Celeste.
Haha, now she thinks you're a racist. That's what you get for not giving me a name, racist.
I just don't want to pick a wrong name. I feel
Ain't
like
no
maybe.
wrong name. You already wronged up my whole body. Hey, I'm just trying to survive over here. I'm stuck with you via a wayward spell. Can you hurry up and name me?
I just need a couple minutes, okay? You're rushing me, and I don't do well under pressure. Maybe we could just nap on it.
Gonna nap on? I am kind of sleepy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Aw.
kinda.
Do you want a carrot?
No, I don't want it. I don't want a carrot.
I'm sure JJ has some.
Oh, she does. You just assume she has carrots? Okay, ask her if she has a carrot.
JJ, you got a carrot?
You called her
Are
a
you
carrot crunch, then
joking
ask her
right
if she had
now,
a carrot.
Miss Celeste?
Oh, he wants a carrot.
No, this is great. I'm loving this. This is what we call comedy.
You know,
Did you
I'm
have
going to let you handle your new horse pet situation. I'm gonna keep on looking at the hooting and the hollering.
Okay.
Some friend you got
I don't-
there.
I don't think she has a carrot.
No, I don't think she has a carrot either. If she does, it's probably stuck way. Never mind. You know what?
Oh, hey, now, hey.
Hey, I just calls it like I sees it, lady. Look, I tried the cute thing, didn't work. Okay, I'm a little frustrated. Not
Keep
gonna
it up.
lie.
Keep it up, and we're gonna start calling you Sparkle.
Well, I'd kind of be down for Sparkle. Sparkle's a pretty good name.
What?
I like Sparkle.
You want me to call you Sparkles?
Yeah, it sounds like a good name. Sparkles. Got like letters in it, vowels even.
Do you shit glitter?
I could.
Uh,
You got any glitter I could eat?
I don't think so.
Well, if you ever let me eat glitter, I'll shit glitter for you.
Now we gotta find some.
You know, this is a very, very enlightening conversation we is having right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
So I'm Sparkles. Is that what I'm gonna be?
Is that what you wanna be?
Look, I'm whatever you want me to be.
Look, dude, I just feel like there's a lot of pressure here, and I'm gonna be honest.
You made
I don't want to
me.
name you the wrong thing.
There's no wrong answers here, lady. Is this your first spirit summoning?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Oh my gosh.
You
Yes.
forked this one up something fierce, honey.
Is that bad?
That's real bad.
Oh
I'm
God.
supposed to be a guardian of your divine purpose here on the material realms.
Well, you're so small.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
JJ's for this tent.
Okay. I don't think you
know-
can be blaming the carrot cruncher over in the corner there.
Stop calling her a carrot cruncher.
Well, she's a carrot cruncher. You see those freaking ears?
She can hear us.
She can
JJ's
hear you.
furiously scribbling in a notebook at this point.
Specifically, I'm just an adorable pony that you summoned out of the ether. As far as anyone knows, and the pony will lay down on its side and do like this like very cute like, look at me, I'm a
God.
baby pony. I'm the most adorable thing in the world, and you're a bitter racist.
Turns out you're 100% just a baby.
I'm just a wee little baby who would never shit in someone's sleeping bag.
Don't shit in someone's sleeping bag, but
Give
if you
me a
do,
name.
if you do, don't shit.
Don't you threaten me, or I'll do it to spite you. If I so much as smell a threat, I'm a shit.
Shit in Jones's bag. No one will ever suspect it was you.
Which one is Jones?
That one, the purple one.
All right, I got you, but I need a name first.
Come on.
Nope, no favors till I have a name. I'm checking your books. Yeah, researching a bit. I'm just gonna lay here and be adorable. Here, put this back on screen, hold on. Look how adorable I am. I'm the cutest freaking pony you've ever seen.
Okay, it's Sparkles, Mr. Sparkles.
Mr. Sparkles. Alright, that's my name now. Alright, kid. I like you. I like your
Gonna
moxie.
shit in that bag or what?
Heck yeah. The pony will walk over. Cobalt Jones, I need a perception check as you feel tiny, small pony hooves on your chest. And there is a tail lifted in front of Jonesy.
I'm gonna choose to fail it.
You choose to fail. You stay asleep, and tiny little, bead-sized dookies come out the back of this pony and land all over the front of your armor that you sleep in. The pony will slowly trot back to Celeste. JJ, you smell it immediately. It's tiny but deadly. Celeste, your new pony friend, curls up at the edge of your foot and goes, "Look at that. Shit right on him."
Got him.
Sucker.
Yeah. Okay, well, you should probably get some rest. I'm sure
I'm
you're
pretty
tired.
tired. Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you go sleep.
Slowly, Mr. Sparkles curls up in a little ball and then collapses over. Just falls asleep. JJ, you start hearing. Anything else for Watch 1? Good to know. You stir and wake Watch 2, which I believe is Kobold Jones.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep.
Kobold Jones just wakes up.
You're covered in tiny
Right at the
pellets.
time. Nobody has to wake him. He just,
Oh, pops up.
yeah, Undertaker style.
Okay.
Ugh. Did I shit in my bag again? And then he'll
No.
grab some, smell it, and be like, "No, that's not mine."
You scan the dome. JJ is just about to lay down. Celeste looks like she was about to wake you. Next to Celeste, there's a tall dwarf pony laying down next to Celeste.
I'm gonna look at the pony, and I'm gonna look at JJ,
Yep.
and I'll be like, horses usually shit big. This looks like rabbit poop. Okay. Alright. I was saving for my battle poop, but I see how this is. We're doing prank wars now.
It was the pony. Enjoyed it.
Did you just sell the pony out like that? That pony
I
couldn't have
did.
done it.
That pony and I think Miss Celeste are quite racist. I'm gonna go to bed. I've heard a lot tonight.
I could have told you that.
The pony lets out a very adorable snort in its sleep.
I can't be mad at him. I'll throw the little poops out the door.
All right,
And
you throw the
yeah.
small bean poops.
yeah, I'll scoop them up and just toss them out.
Sure.
And
easy.
then I guess I'll start taking watch.
All right. Go ahead and roll a d12 for me as the other pair head to bed. Celeste, as soon as you lay down, your Mr. Sparkles climbs to the top of your armor, nestles in, rolls up, and falls back asleep on top of you. Goes, "Don't worry, I got yous. I'll have to go through my pony body to get to you." What did we get, Kobold Jones?
Got an 8.
An 8? Alright. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay.
It's a 19.
19. You stare out, keeping watch through the kind of translucent, the opalescent dome of which you find yourself in. You look out onto the small village, Grim. You can see the small descending embers throughout the night's evening. Where once it would have been dinner time, now we're getting into the past midnight hours of the watch. You can kind of overlook and keep a vigil over what could be. You said with an 18, right?
19.
19. With a 19, you look over the village proper, and you can see a number of wagons and carts. Small lamplights seem to enter into the town late into this evening. They seem to be ungreeted, no one comes out to meet them of any sort. And you have a hard time making out in the dark. Because again, dark vision is only about 60 feet. So you really only pick out the lanterns that are at the edges of these kind of larger wagons and carts. They all do seem to arrive throughout the evening. Is there anything you want to do with that information, or?
Are the carts covered?
Yeah, they're covered wagons, from what you can kind of make out by their shadowy forms in the darkness. But being that they're further out than your dark vision allows, you're really only noticing it because you note 2 lanterns on either side of them. So at the very least, they seem to be like a wide axle framed, like covered wagon.
Can we see anything with the bonfire at this point, or is it just like kind of like the little bit of flame licking up in the smoke?
Yeah, it's mostly smoke and like burnt embers at this point. Whatever type of like people were utilizing this bonfire, by your insight in nature, you'd assume it was probably something for like a dinner time or evening activity. Now that you're kind of late, again, we're talking like 2 a.m. at this point. It just seems like these are like late night arrivals to the village. They do seem to arrive from the southern road, however. You do get that much, at least.
Okay. And no hooping or hollering or anything like that, right?
Nope.
All right. He'll drink a little bit and then just keep watch.
Okay. The rest of your watch passes fairly uneventfully. We get into the final and third watch, which I believe you're waking up, or really you're just pointing at Vel, who just wakes up after halfway through your watch.
She's been awake the whole time. She's been here the
The
whole time. I just look over, see her like scary, wide eyes, scanning the area, and I just go to sleep. I don't even tell her.
Okay. You just drop.
Watch that horse
Exactly.
poop on you.
I make sure I don't fall in any turds, and I cleaned up everything, and then
Yeah. You clean your station. It's all right. It's tiny little pony poops. It's all right.
yeah.
Yeah. So Vel, you wake up for watch. Go ahead and roll a d12 if you'd be so kind.
11.
11. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh, damn. 23.
23. You watch as into the early morning at this point. A number of townspeople can be seen just on the crest of kind of like the early night, carrying torches out and slowly kind of like lighting various types of lanterns around a collection off of this. You hear a soft kind of cowbell ring out, and you can hear a number of feet shuffling along the open roads outside of the village itself. Anything you'd like to do?
Shuffling on the roads?
Yep.
Can I tell what direction they're going?
Seems various directions. Again, dark vision being what it is, you're only really able to see their torchlights. From the looks of it, they are shuffling about town and heading out both through the south gates and you assume other places, but it's hard to pick like one torch and being like, they're headed this way.
Yeah.
It seems beyond the scope
Okay.
of the ability.
Can I pop out of the dome a little bit
Mhm.
and cast invisibility on Aja and get a view about 100 feet closer to this? If
Sure.
she can see anything?
Yeah, just throwing her up into the air. Does Asha have night vision or dark vision? And what's the range?
I think so.
Then my answer is going to be nah, though.
I wasn't sure with the torchlight if I could get any more insight into what's going on or not.
Yeah, the thing with the torchlight is you'll be able to see the fires moving about the town at 100 feet, but not much else. And again, you'll
Okay.
just see them shuffling in and out of various sections of the town.
Okay. I'll still have done that, just kind of have a better insight to like the number and whatnot of what I saw, but
Mhm.
I get what I get there, so and then I'll
Yeah.
have her come back and go back in.
Okay, return to the dome. I believe that'll conclude our watches. Time passes. It is still pre-sunrise, as that tends to be what it is. Each of you receive a long rest, so you may adjust yourselves accordingly. And before sun arrives, so too does Morgan. You see the dome shimmer a little bit, JJ, and the long cloak of your rogue friend appears back inside the dome. and looks you all over as she pulls her hood back and kind of waits for everyone to begin to stir. She goes, guys, yeah, there's some stuff that I think everyone needs to know.
All right, lay it on me.
All right. So, good. Where do I start? So originally I was supposed to look at the, kind of sort of, like the villagers who were like worshiping at night. It seems like they are, like kind of like partying every other night. But I'm pretty sure, we're good with them. I think we're fine. Specifically. They're all wearing, well, they're made out of like twigs and like brooches and stuff, but they all kind of look like the brooches that JJ and Val wear. So I'm pretty sure we're cool with that. Apparently they call it a god of a harvest, and they made this like scarecrow type thing that kind of looks like that little guy that Vasler kind of that we like hung out with a bunch. So I'm pretty sure they're on the level. And I was going to call it after their bonfire ended because I wanted to see if like, like blood sacrifices or whatever. And that's when another kind of like odd thing happened, and I kind of followed it all the way to the casino. So like late last night, a bunch of like wagons showed up, and I ended up tailing a couple of those wagons. JJ, did your mom make like a deal with these people or something? Like, do you think she would have like ordered stuff to be sold here?
I mean, there was the first order that ever got like put in to my dad.
Yeah, so like your dad didn't show up, obviously. I wasn't like fully there, but I was there for like the after part. But like so I think I saw him at your house before. He kind of looks like your dad, but like big bags under his eyes. And I'm pretty sure he was like making a scene when I showed up, but I don't know who he is really. We didn't really get introduced because, your whole friend thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, he seemed to have a bunch of people from, your farm with him. And the wagons, I peeked in and looked it over, and it looks like a lot of barrels of stuff that has the printing of your Shine place on it.
Theodore.
What?
Uncle Theodore.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's like the delivery guy for your mom or something, or?
He was indeed running deliveries. It would be interesting to see if that shipment lines up with whatever this first purchase order, because we figured out that the first purchase order was definitely most likely written by Mr. TT, right?
Okay, yeah.
But all of these like other notes kind of match more with Georgie. So I'm wondering if maybe they were getting the whole entire order together, and in the meantime, Georgie didn't think it was fast enough, and he sent all those notes. But also, I couldn't trust Uncle Theo farther than I could throw him, and we all know how strong I am. So
right. Okay. Well, don't shoot the messenger. Yeah.
Oh no. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, I don't want to say it, but well, I feel like I need to. What are the odds that maybe he was in on your father's demise?
It could be definitely a thing. It could definitely possibly be a thing. Just because I don't trust Uncle Theo. He's always been kind of skeevy, but I didn't think he would ever resort to murder. I don't know if he's smart enough to conduct such a plan. If you catch my drift.
Yes, I catch your drift. But if somebody, I don't know, let's say Georgie, helped him get to the end result of the idea, so Georgie's the brains behind the operation,
Yeah, that's my big thing. More
Mhm.
a quick question. Did you see if they met with anybody when they were delivering?
So I tried to find out if that was the case, but your Theodore, is that right?
Yeah, Theodore.
Oh yeah. No, he went through the stables entrance into the casino, and the last time we went in there, I knew that they kind of have some type of magic-y type stuff, so I didn't want to follow too far in. I didn't see anyone other than a couple of orcish fellas in suits come out and like walk and check, I guess, like a number of things. I peeked over one of their shoulders and I saw like what looks like an inventory. And she kind of like unfurls like a small piece of paper that looks like hastily written. She hands it to you and she goes, "It looked. This is kind of what was on there, but it was kind of hard to see, and I didn't want to give myself away any." So
You've done so much already. JJ's gonna quickly scan over what more thought that she saw as delivery or whatever this inventory is
sure.
versus that first purchase order.
Yeah, you look it over. It seems as if everything that was requested, and again, this purchase order that was in your father's office was never fulfilled. It wasn't ever an agreed upon thing, and you're not even sure if money had been exchanged for it. It was an official purchasing order request. So specifically, it just lists like, "Hey, we want all these things. Please sell it to us." And your father never really seemed to respond back to them, from what you can tell from his notes. Hard to tell without him here, but obviously you have what you have. Looking it over, though, it does seem to match the items requested. However, the amounts are slightly higher than on the initial order.
We could catch him coming out of town.
I mean, I guess you could if he leaves town. Yeah. We could set up for it. I could keep watch or something. Sorry to kind of cut you short there, JJ. The only other thing I saw is everyone in this town wakes up super early. I don't know if anyone else realized that.
Yeah, I noticed that on my watch.
Yeah. They seem to like wake up well before morning and seem to head out. I'm not sure what's going on, but I did note a couple of people carrying, or rather not carrying, but putting things in like their lunchboxes to head out into the fields. And not all of it looked like building stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but like it looked like glass and like small pieces of like arcane stuff. I've got a pretty good eye when it comes to things that are valuable, but I can't quite tell what it was, but it looks like they didn't want to like I figure if they're building something, they would carry it openly. So the stuff that they're bringing out of town is being hidden from some folks. But there's probably, I counted at least like a half a dozen people or more with these weird kind of like stones and pieces of glass. It looked expensive, so like I'm not like we're good, right? Like I don't have to worry about you guys like I mean we're seekers, so like I'm allowed to just steal stuff, right? Like we're all cool with that.
You're
Yeah,
good. You're good.
Oh, specialty.
Okay. She reaches into her back pocket and produces a small rock that has markings written on it, and it's this bright, glowing blue stone. She goes, "So yeah, that kind of just fell out of one of their lunch boxes. So here you go."
Well, I hate it when things just fall out of my lunch boxes.
It's pretty much litter at that point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she'll just
Thank you for
hand
cleaning that up.
Yeah, she'll hand it over, and she goes, "All right, well, I haven't slept for like 2 days, so I'm gonna go meditate. And are we good?"
JJ's gonna redo the dome real quick so that Morgan's also here,
Okay.
and so that it can re-up the time,
Sure. You-
and just at least give her 4 hours.
Yeah, she sits over, crouches, summons Chunkini. Chunkini sleeps in her lap. She feeds Chunkini even though he doesn't need food. And then, yeah, Morgan conks out in her trance
Well, this keeps getting worse and worse. Excuse me for a moment. Just, JJ's gonna cast an emergency sending over to her mom.
Okay.
Morning, Ma.
Sorry.
You're good.
The scream of her mother waking up at 4 a.m.
Morning, Ma. Sorry to bother you. Did Theodore take a shipment to Grim Village, or did you authorize an order to Grim Village? Confused up here. Thank you so much. Take care now.
Cuts off, I think, right before take care now, if I counted right. The message goes through. You do hear kind of like a and you hear, hey JJ, your uncle's where now? No, I was asleep. We sent out a shipment to the south, because we had an order your pa had pending. I think Theo took that. I hope you're okay. Make sure you drink water.
She's gonna do another sending. Oh, never mind. She's gonna just leave it for now.
Sounds good.
Well, that shipment was supposed to go south.
I think we have enough odd pieces out of place to start asking questions.
I think so too.
But I want to take a look at this stone first.
Well, before anybody does anything, I just want to officially introduce Mr. Sparkles.
This small pony
racist
jumps
pony.
on all fours and whips its long mane around, and it, for whatever reason, the mane seems to shimmer in the light and go slow motion like Fabio. And you hear, and the horse like kind of poses next to Celeste.
This is Mr. Sparkles. Mr. Sparkles. This is everyone. That's Jones. That's the guy you shit in his bed.
Don't.
That's Orville. That's Belle. That's JJ. The sleeping one is Morgan. That's Buddy. That's Charles.
Charles immediately walks forward, looks this pony up and down, goes,
What is your purpose? Small, four-legged creature?
Charles begins to reach back for his pizza cutter.
No,
You see him
Charles.
slowly grab
No, no.
it.
JJ is just in her head gonna say, "Do it, do it."
Mr. Sparkles looks and kind of like defensively stares at Charles and goes, and you hear telepathically in your mind, Celeste, you go, whoa, what's with the rat? I don't like the rat. What's with the rat? What's he doing?
Charles, stop it. This is who you're gonna ride into battle.
Ride
He's
into
gonna make you a
battle.
fierce knight.
Knight. I want to be a hero.
Yeah. Same thing.
Not the same
No,
thing.
no, because the night that we met was not a hero.
Charles draws his pizza cutter.
Okay, look, you're gonna be a really great hero, and you're gonna look really cool riding into battle on this really cool pony. What are you doing?
I'm questioning how this small creature got here.
Oh, I summoned him. Duh.
Oh.
You learned?
He's mine.
Oh, okay.
Puts the
He's
pizza cutter
very
back.
racist.
Did you figure out the find familiar spell?
No, you see, I was trying to do the find steed spell, but
She
I did
tried
it
to
inside the
summon-
dome.
Yeah.
So that should be a much bigger horse.
I-
And
Okay,
also,
I know. He's
the-
already told me that
how-
I'm an idiot like 4 times.
Oh,
Hey, whoa. Don't you tell them I'm not your best friend.
I didn't say
Also-
you're not my best friend.
We're besties.
No, I
What
didn't
happens
say-
what happens if you chop him in half?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
wait, did he just he said he's going to ask you to chop me in half? Whoa, don't let him chop me in half.
No,
Yeah,
you're
what
not-
happens?
Oh, hey,
Nobody's
hold on
gonna
a second.
chop you in half.
I don't like the sound
Guys!
of chopping in half over here.
Oh my gosh, there's a
They-
lot.
like any other summoned creature, it will just kind of disperse into
Well, I don't want to disperse. That
pixie
sounds
matter
painful.
until it gets summoned again.
I don't want to become pixie matter.
He doesn't want to.
Nope.
Maybe if he gets dispersed and comes back, he'll be Big Horse.
Nope, don't let him do it. He's just trying to convince you to kill me.
Well, you didn't even have to do that. You could just dismiss him without killing him.
Hey, don't dismiss me. I'm a living sentient creature that you named.
He doesn't want me to do that either.
Well,
He
did he
says-
also tell you to call me a carrot muncher?
Don't you lie to her.
No, I wasn't calling you a
Celeste, did you
carrot
call
muncher.
JJ
No,
a
didn't
I
carrot?
call
wasn't.
me a
Oh
carrot
my gosh,
muncher.
I'm so
What
sorry.
is
I was not.
going
Bartholomew
on
in the
with
back of the dome goes, "Oh, that is super racist."
Oh, that's a racist thing? That's not a hooer thing?
No,
Okay.
Especially if you ever come across these fey creatures called Harringtons. That is very racist in their circles.
Harrington.
The rabbit
They're-
folk.
They're cousins. They're
Yeah,
very
they're
small
probably
cousins.
descendants or however that works.
They're your
My
cousins.
pops used to call me a carrot muncher when I was a kid. I thought it was a cute thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a microaggression there, friend.
I'm sorry. I wasn't calling you a carrot muncher. I was telling him not to call you a carrot muncher.
whoa,
I don't know. You.
Don't tell-
I
don't
think you
tell her
called
to
me a
call you
carrot
carrot
muncher to my.
You
No,
you,
I
don't
didn't
you
call you.
blame
I
me
was
for your
saying-
problems.
Oh man, this whole pony thing is really hard. I'm not gonna lie. He talks and you talk, and then I don't know what to do.
You can't blame having a horse on the reason for being racist.
Yeah, that's on you,
He
realistically.
wasn't. I was telling him not to call her a carrot muncher. I wasn't
No.
calling her a carrot muncher.
Yo, you
She just
can't-
said you called her
Yeah.
one.
What's wrong with carrots and munching them?
The more that
What
you
else
say
would you
it,
do with
the
them?
more racist you sound. You're just digging a hole here, kid.
Shut up, Sparkles.
Whoa. Mr. Sparkles is my name. Don't you forget it, Toots.
JJ, are you gonna be okay?
So sorry.
I'll
I
be fine.
wasn't calling you a carrot muncher.
Just a bit of a shock, to be honest. But
It's quite shocking waking
Celeste,
up
you gotta
to
figure yourself
a hole.
out, girl.
Bartholomew will lean into JJ and go, "In my experience, it's always the folks that are struggling with religion that tend to have a little bit more, animosity for other people and ideas."
yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be fine. I'm sure everything will work itself out.
It's okay.
Keep our lives and our relationships here pretty professional.
No.
Bartholomew will look to Celeste and go, "Miss Celeste, for the comfortableness and the general understanding of the group, I think it's best that maybe you and I can hang out separate from the group. Maybe, I don't know, at a range of about 30 feet away. Maybe we restrain ourselves and establish a little bit of order.
With Mr. Sparkles.
Sure, we can bring your friend with us. That's fine. But I think restraining this order is going to be the right course of action for us."
Buddy,
Mm-hmm.
am I in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble at all. We just want to keep you about 30 feet away from, Miss Lightning for maybe a couple days until this whole racist shenanigans just blows over.
I didn't call her.
I know you didn't call her that. I'm on your side. Now, let's just do what's best for the group. In the time being.
Does that include making this dome smell a little bit better? Because I
Oh.
know I'm not a paragon of cleanliness,
Yeah,
and
no,
I
I'm getting out of
certainly
this
don't have the right
100%.
to speak, but it smells a little musty in here.
Oh,
Do
it
say
definitely
so myself.
It does sound like a barn. I smell like a barn in here. I agree.
I couldn't hold the battle poop in anymore.
Charles will whirl around at Kobold Jones and go, Did you shit yourself?
I can't take my armor off.
So you're telling me underneath all that armor is several days worth of poop?
Weeks.
Weeks of poop?
The
Charles, the
last time I
cleanest
pooped
one.
was the corn dog.
Oh. Oh. That's what the smell is. Charles is going to go outside now.
You see the
I've
small
tried.
mouse. Or the small rat.
I've tried to use prestidigitation on it, but it just doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
It just keeps coming out.
The armor permanently smells of shiitake mushrooms.
gonna go down to the river.
Oh yeah.
Sit your ass in it for a little while.
The moment you sit down in the river, there's a cloud of brown and black that emanates out from your armor and slowly drifts down with the current. Anyone who looks upon Kobold Jones can see like nice, clear, fresh river stream, and then like a line emanating from him, like a leaking pen, just draining into the river.
I hope no one drinks this.
A little further down, the more perceptive you see a small colony of fish begin to float on their bellies.
I got breakfast.
Great, I'll have my rations today.
My rations. That's morning.
I think we found a new definition for blast fishing.
Oh yes, of course. As Kobold Jones is cleaning himself up, Morgan is resting. Bartholomew will look to the rest of the group and go, "All right, so what's our game plan? If we want, there's a boat we could steal." He looks down. You can see this old, like broken-looking canoe that's down by the docks. Or we could do whatever you want, really. Seekers.
What do you want to steal the boat for?
The event we need to make a quick escape. It just seems like, I mean, Captain Honeycutt doesn't seem like you would particularly miss it.
I may have just shed a few pounds, but I still weigh way too much for that by myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's great.
I want to see what my uncle's up to.
All right.
That's my big thing right now.
Well, Miss Morgan did say that the individual, your uncle, entered into the casino. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think we're allowed to carry anything inside the casino. Is there a different way we can go about that, or?
We
On
could
that
try.
Oh, you have an idea?
It's just what Morgan mentioned, but if we kind of looked as a group for it and set up a few different angles, we could try to wait until he leaves if we're willing to put a bit more time into this. Morgan also said there were only a few guards on the stable side. We could go in and find the carts ourselves and see where they went from there.
Point of order. Is the important thing here the things that are being sold, or the people involved?
The people involved.
Yes, the people. I was thinking that would be the trail that we'd pick up and maybe have an entrance to go in with our weapons then.
Right. I technically have an idea. It's not a great idea, but it is an idea.
Oh, no, please.
We could maybe request Mr. Georgie meet with us and maybe arrange a meeting at the very least, or we could just invite them out or for a meal or something themselves and corner them. They seem to be rather appreciative of my general presence, to say the least. But I don't. Speaking openly, I do not know how long, or we don't know how long, JJ's uncle might stay here.
If he was supposed to head south, he might be staying for a few days. The trek down that way sometimes is a little long, depending on who they're going to.
And by the time they leave, the carts would presumably be empty with no evidence at that point.
I don't know, he kind of looks like a squealer to me. I think we could knock some sense into him. But, I guess, do we know where you would deliver to in the south?
Would JJ know who they have down south?
There's
at
a
the
number,
moment.
yeah, there's a number of different places that could be delivered. Deerwood being one of them. But you also know that there are routes that lead through Fort Ebony and the Smoke Watch that actually fuel many of those garrisons. You would assume your father had dispatched relations with Ravon on your order, so it's unlikely your mother would have fulfilled any orders through Ravon. So southward, one of those three destinations would most likely be the area.
It's usually like a day or two of a trip, depending on how fast someone makes it back.
We told him about the Deerwood situation, didn't we?
Told them it was damaged or in need of repairs as part of our payment agreement with TT.
No, I meant the JJ farm.
Oh, they were there.
The farm also got pretty wrecked.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, probably not gonna go there, right? Unless I guess payment was already done, but that seems kind of weird.
Yeah. I can ask her exactly where it was supposed to go so that we have a time frame. I want to be ready for anything. So I don't want to, do too much of a sending.
Okay. What if two of us go to where they do the intaking of the product, and the rest of us go and try and meet with TT or Georgie or whomever to go to lunch to get them out? And that way we have them all surrounded, technically. The exit and the meeting.
The one place that I know, there's not a lot of places to eat in town aside from that patio garden restaurant area, and I know that we can carry there. I know that for sure. So if we could somehow get them all on that patio, maybe folks will be having a nice sunny brunch together, celebrating some new work connections.
I
That
mean, I like murder as much as the next guy, but that's like right out in the sun.
It-
And also, he might be just like chilling in like the 5-star hotel room.
So, but I'm wondering if there's any other nicer restaurants that have opened in town now that we could take him to, because otherwise, how we deal with it is going to be in the casino or directly on its balcony there. And if we get our hands on Georgie, then can we use him to get Theo?
I don't know what their relationship is exactly.
But Georgie would know where he is in the casino and would have the means to access wherever it is.
But Buddy did bring up a good point of the product being the proof that they're up here.
Yeah.
Yes, I more mean to say there's no part in taking proof. I'm sure your mother would believe you, most likely, over your uncle. The point would be to accost them or catch them in the act at this point. The hope would be, or rather what I have seen, is to find a way to Mr. TT and get at him, effectively. Confront him with the information, or confront Georgie with the information. I just personally think there's an easier method to getting Georgie, and from what we've seen, Georgie has a key to Mr. TT's office, so might be best in that respect.
Honestly, I think it's a pretty good idea. I think Georgie's exactly who we need to start with for whatever we're trying to get to in this casino.
They probably have the key to most anything. They're probably one of the most trusted folks for Mr. TT. And it seems they run a lot of the forward-facing business.
A question. Didn't we get tasked with dealing with the scimitars?
You did.
Yes.
Do we have maybe anything at all that we could say is theirs and proof that we did that? And then use
Yeah.
that as a way to force a meeting?
I have Preeple's dagger that matches Corvus's.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if that would serve as proof, but we could try that as well.
I could also... Oh,
well,
I had an idea.
in
Go
the form
ahead,
of
go
diplomacy, it's often good to play it down that you don't have any cards to bring and you're just there to solve the problem. And then once we have them available to us, then that could be another method as well. I'm sure most people wouldn't think twice if you were to tell them you did what they were paying you to do.
Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know if she'd actually do it. She'd probably want to strike up a deal, but we could see if we could get Preeple to hang low a little bit. Or if that maybe aligns with her meetings that she had yesterday.
We should make haste before this morning's announcements, because our meeting will be part of MMLR's.
We should go.
So whichever way we want to go with this, we want to try and meet with Georgie, or if we want to try and go straight to TT with "we did it," we shouldn't waste time.
Agreed. We need to move. I'm happy to. I think going to Georgie's a great idea. But also, yeah, I guess going to Georgie's a good idea.
So are we going to Georgie or are we going to TT? Or both?
I wish we could do both, but I don't know if we feasibly have time before the morning announcements.
If we go and meet with Georgie, we'll have the key, and we can then go straight to TT.
I will remind you that I don't think Georgie's just going to hand over a key to the place, Miss Velethor.
I didn't think he was either.
Well, in this respect, then, I do think you, much to what you've accredited, is if time is of the essence, we have one of the two options to catch one of our two culprits, or rather suspects, unarmed. I'm not sure if we go for Georgie, if there's a way for him to warn Mr. TT, and I'm not sure if we go after Mr. TT if there's a way to warn Georgie. Now, we don't know, or I don't know, if either of them or one of them is responsible, but I think we do lose an element of surprise if we have to ask Georgie nicely, and I do think we lose an element of surprise once we confront Mr. TT.
It's very true.
If we pick one of them, I would hope we are sure about the one we are picking.
Part of me wants to put a little more faith in Mr. TT and him saying reason or saying the ill of Georgie's ways a little more than, dealing with Georgie first. That's going off my gut feeling. I know that Corvus's face flashed in his head for a moment. But maybe he wasn't sure the nature of exact work he was doing. But
Weren't the letters in Georgie's handwriting?
the letters were in Georgie's handwriting. But if we present this proof to Mr. TT, he sees that Georgie's done things. But then again, that might be the nature of TT's business, and he might feel fine with it, but... Part of me...
He didn't
He didn't
seem like he
seem...
was fine with it, but I also don't know, if I was a corporate businessman, I think I would probably trust in my star employees more than I would some customers that come walking in.
Well, the thing is, we're not exactly customers either.
In this instance, I think we are the help.
We're the help, and we're... To be honest, we're not just some schmucks off the street anymore.
Speak for
mean-
yourself.
TT himself had sinister intent. I mean, not that we'd ever call the Scimitars good people, but he still did want them removed.
That is very fair, too. What did the rest of y'all think? Because it's a hard choice, and we gotta figure it out quick.
My vote's Georgie. I think we should go after Georgie first.
I agree.
Charles votes for...
Whoever is the toughest. And then we will destroy them.
Hey, you got those poison barbs still, Joan?
I'll pull them out.
What if we... Morgan said there was a couple guards at that stable entrance. What if we did a little pokey on their bums? Or Morgan did a little pokey on their bums with those things.
First
Paralyzed
thought.
them, and then we could just walk
Secondly,
in.
DM,
Hmm?
how long do I think that these things will be active for? Like,
At this point, they're already losing a lot of the potency, especially that some of them have already been used. You'd assume probably no more than like today, if at all. They were fresh when you found them, so it's like it's hard to tell. But you didn't really like store them.
If you look at this, they're getting kind of brittle already, so I'm a little bit, nervous about trying to use them. They may not work.
Also, if anything goes wrong in that situation, we lose our case of surprise versus either of our real targets there.
True.
Yes, I don't quite think we have to break in. We are kind of hired to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm overthinking it.
Just walk right
All
in, demand one of the two people to speak to, I think is pretty easy to do.
So we've got 2 or 3 for Georgie so far?
I think it's 2 for Georgie and half for TT.
Well,
I'm really not sure.
Bartholomew will abstain from voting.
Part of me feels like TT could have pawned it off to Georgie once he needed it to become threats, because he still met with Corvus for some reason. If it was all Georgie, TT would never have had to meet with him.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Look, I'm all down for crushing the guy in charge, but I do feel kind of like Georgie seems craftier in a lot of ways. Like he has something to prove, versus TT, who has not a whole lot to prove. just a experienced businessman doing experienced businessman stuff. We take out TT, and then, I guess at that point, do we worry about Georgie coming after us and or doing something later, and then vice versa, right? We take out Georgie, and then we tell TT what we found. Either he was in on it, and then he comes after us, or he wasn't in on it, and then maybe he sees our side without Georgie being there to defend himself.
I mean, yes, those are the risks and repercussions. If TT is the one that we're after and we take him out, we have access to his files, as mentioned earlier, and Georgie may not have a leg to stand on once we decide who's going to run things around here after that, or give things back, or whatever. I'm willing to go after either one of them because I can see how either one of them could be the prime target. But I still think my instincts are telling me to be more suspicious of TT.
Yeah, I think I'm jumping ship. Don't take down TT. That way, take down this stupid casino. Doesn't even allow weapons in it.
Keep kind of coming back to the thing people said of take out whoever the wielder is, and to be honest, I mean, the highest up you get is TT. Because if Georgie's just working on what he's told to do, it is what it is, right? He's also just a pawn in the game.
Well, the fear there becomes in what I don't think, but if TT is innocent, then he's just leaving Georgie to handle things however. That's the fear. Of getting the wrong man.
My other thing too, I
There.
guess I just want to clarify what, if we do go after Georgie, what exactly we're doing.
Murder.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to, I
Nailed
wanted to
down.
ask what people thought people's ideas of
brought
this
murder.
were, because
Murder.
I don't think we're outright. I would like to think that we're not outright murderers in the best of conditions. And that, justice ain't just murdering fucks. So we have to find a way to incapacitate them.
Well, once we incapacitate them, are we covering their mouths and nose until they stop breathing permanently? Or so definitely not murder.
How many times have y'all just murdered folks?
Never.
It's my job.
I've killed people,
We've
definitely.
all-
but just
This is
murdered
we've
them?
done
JJ,
No, never.
Remember the
Never.
lizard folk and
Yeah,
stuff
we
like.
we murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
This isn't new for you guys. You're murderers.
We're trying to
It
be
wasn't
better.
it wasn't particularly something we wanted to do. We were
Okay,
going
it's not
off
serial
half
killers.
information.
Just
Information.
murderers. It's okay.
I
That's
don't know. I feel like theirs kind of falls in line a little bit with genocidal, to be fair. And I
It
can't even
was
say
not
I've
a
done
good
that.
time. It was not a good time for us.
So, James' question here.
Yep.
Are we able, or do we have an angle to, bag Theo on the way out and use him to wedge between Georgie and TT, and then go after the weaker of those two links?
So
That's
yeah, so a thing to look at here is, I think the right way to determine this for you guys is to determine who you think is the biggest priority, because you have effectively 3 different targets at this, all in the same area, that once you go after one of them, if you are wrong and you have to go after a different one, then that person is getting time and likely informed that the storm is a coming. So it'll be a tougher go at it at that point. Theo, as you kind of look him over, I mean, he's here for some reason. You're not quite sure what. That's up to you guys. If you think that he is the main culprit, then you're more than able to go after him. It's just, you do know that you have two different people who likely have some type of evidence against them, one way or another, and you could very easily walk right in the front door and request to meet with probably either one of them without too much hubbub. Theodore would be like, I'm looking for a guest who's staying at the casino by the name of... So that solves the question then.
Yeah, I don't view Theo as a big player. I just view him more as a pawn to leverage.
Wait a second. It wouldn't be that far of a stretch exactly for JJ to be like, hey, my uncle's here. He was doing a delivery. I just wanted to check in on him. Could you take me to his room? And meanwhile, we're like, hey, we're going to catch up with Georgie, check up on him, see what's going on. We did our business.
That would split the party situation.
Perfect. I think we just murder someone.
Stop saying murder.
Sorry. Actually, you're right. Technically, coming from a technical standpoint, a historical standpoint, this wouldn't be murder. They're all two high-profile targets. This would be assassination.
For once, I'm going to agree with Jones here. I do believe this does qualify technically under assassination.
We're not getting paid for it.
Technically,
Doesn't matter.
Technically, we are getting paid in vengeance.
Oh.
That's pretty good currency as far as I'm concerned.
Also, they could have any number of things in their pockets, Miss Vell.
Political
They
power.
probably have a lot of coin. It's a casino.
Oh, fair. So there is, in fact, payment for services assassinated.
Assassination
Kinda like-
and grand larceny.
A B&E gone wrong.
I mean, sure. Look, I have served at the leisure of elven nobles for the majority of my early life, and I believe the correct term in situations where assassination was being discussed openly is that we appropriate their items and such things. And then it is ours, and it is all legally under claimant.
Yeah, I don't know if we care about legalities here in
That's
this
fair.
Wild West place.
Did we come to a conclusion on your vote?
Orville,
TT.
did you?
No, Orville didn't vote either. Neither did Moore.
Moore's really quiet.
More is like
Moore,
a
I
mouse.
think, is down for whatever.
Yeah. Moore's like,
Just like,
turn down for
killing?
what?
Yeah, Moore said kill and money. Either one.
Kill and money. More said,
Yeah,
don't care which.
assassination was mentioned, and those ears perked her right on up.
I will say, and again, she's able to correct me whenever, I will say I think Moore would lean for TT, because on the chance you're right about that, the payoff would probably be higher. So if Moore doesn't have her own opinion, I'm going to say of the two people, the more wealthy of the two is probably TT.
And I'm also happy to agree to cut the head off this snake and aim high.
And if we're
Vote for
wrong,
TT.
yeah, and if we're wrong and we show him all this info about the stuff that Georgie sent, we just solve the mystery.
All right, we
And
confront
we
him.
own a
we-
hotel, casino, bar and grill.
Wonderful.
Very good. So is that the vote then for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
You have your answers. We have gone well past time. I thank everyone for sticking with us. We're going to go ahead and call it here. We'll be back next Monday for more Second Wake. We thank you guys for sticking with us after the break. Of course, we had a bit of a longer one, just kind of make up for lost time. So yeah, next week, Seekers of Galanti versus Grim Village. Will they win? Will they lose? Tune in and find out. But for now, we're going to raid Swole Initiative Network. They are a D&D group that is currently doing a Pride Month, I think, raffle and charity. So we're going to go ahead and give them some love. If you are subscribed to our Twitch channel here, please make sure you use our raid icon. That way you can show off some Goblin Army pride. As always, guys, I've been Kareem Zamir. They've been the Seekers of Galanti. This has been Second Wake. We'll see you next time. Peace out.